And y'all know how we do. It's me, the Big Hurt, and you tuned in to Hurt's World, man. Season 3, episode 16. Sweet 16 is what we gonna affectionately call this one. While I'm not really ready, I'm supposed to have earphones in my ear, and I ain't do that. So if you watching this on YouTube, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting my hood back on because I don't have a haircut, and if you don't like it, you can judge your mama, because she got hair on her chin anyway. Anyway, man, just want to thank Bria for stepping in last week at a moment's notice, chopping it up with me. And FYI, she is still looking for somebody to take her to go see Usher. Um, quick recap: if you buy Usher tickets, and I mean decent tickets, and pay for the flights and the hotel once you get there, Bria said you ain't got to swipe your card no more. Now what that means she gonna pay for dinner, food, drinks, all the other stuff. So fellas, slide in her DM, hit her up on Twitter. Um, take her to go see Usher. And if you're lucky enough to be her man, y'all may be able to smash on the balcony. That's not me advertising her, selling her body. Those were her words, not mine. If you don't believe me, go back and listen to last week's episode. She said it, I didn't. But this week, man, we got a very, very interesting, talented array of people you've heard here before. Um, and I promise you, they will hold nothing back. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you kind of see who they are. If you're listening to it on the podcast, we're going to go to break, and then we'll let them tell you who they are. So we'll be right back with more Hurts World. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Hurts World. I'm none other than your girlfriend's favorite podcast host, The Big Hurt. And if she says I'm not, she lying. So before we went to break, I told y'all we had an interesting array of panel guests today. So I'm going to shut up and let them introduce themselves. We'll start with the OG of the group, which is Jasmine, because she's been here the longest and the most. So Jasmine, come on mute. Introduce yourself the proper way.
Hey y'all, it's Jasmine. I most commonly am on talking about insurance and real estate and mortgages and all that type of stuff. Um, but I'm really just Marvin's oldest friend.
So we can't say the name Marvin. That's illegal. People don't know that name. But anyway, we'll scold you later. Next, we have the talented educator, writer, outspoken, my Alabama State friend slash that should have been them kids' mama. Stacy is back with us, but I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stacy. As Marvin said, as the Big Herc said, we go back way, way back to Alabama State. Like he said, I am an educator. I'm a writer. You can follow me on Instagram at face2Stace, and I am excited to be here today.
And last but certainly not least, my homie. And we go back to MCC days. Always been outspoken, a man of many talents, also an international traveler. My homie, LaRoyce.
Yeah, what's going on? LaRoyce Miller, been rocking with Big Hurt for been a minute. Like we was right out of high school over at MCC. But yeah, just an international traveler. I don't do any vlogging, anything like that, but I should. But just out here living life and enjoying it right now. And I just want to give my 2 cents on a few things today. And I appreciate you, Big Hurt, for letting me on here today.
Man, no problem. And just like that, see, guys follow directions. Girls don't. Um, oh, it's gonna be shady and petty today. Um, so before we get into the topics, um, quick recap. Jasmine was just on here for our women in real estate episode. Absolutely dropped fucking knowledge about mortgages and investing and don't get played by these different contractors. Don't be a shady landlord. All that good stuff. So if you haven't heard that episode, make sure you go check that out. Stacy's been here. She and a couple other people had the most streamed episode of season 2, which is affectionately titled "Who Ain't Swag," where she let's see. No, we're gonna say it.
You just gotta go watch it. You just gotta go watch it.
She called Deion Sanders a bitch ass nigga and stood on that. And now personally, I rock with that because she said what she said and she stood on it. I didn't agree all the way, but she stood her ground and she said that's a bitch ass nigga and I stand on that. I told her we were gonna talk about that because apparently Leroyce, to a certain extent, agrees with that sentiment. So let's just start there. Why do y'all feel like this man is a bitch ass nigga? Because the man went to go get a bigger bag in a different conference.
May I speak first, Miss Stacy?
Absolutely.
So I'm not against anybody going to get that bag. Like I totally support that. I wasn't upset at him for leaving Jackson State. Again, I'm from Mississippi. I love what he did for Jackson State. I'm never mad at that. Hell, I'll quit my job if they offer me $1 raise and then I ain't got to travel as far. So for him going to get $20 million, please do, brother. I'm all for that. I only dislike his comments about how he recruits. Because when he said that stuff about when he was like, for quarterbacks, I want 2-parent household, and then for offensive linemen, I want big boys, and of course that's true. But like when you said like I want defensive players from a single parent household, he disqualifies his own son because Deion Sanders got divorced before his son started playing college football, meaning his son, by his same standards, are not his son is not qualified to play for him. So that's what I dislike there. And then also it plays into the whole stereotype at like, single mothers, again, I think the black family, that's another discussion, but you can't punish a kid for his parents. So if a kid comes from a single parent household, whether it be like single mom, single dad, if that kid is doing good in school and is a good player, you shouldn't disqualify him just because he comes from a single parent household. So he lost me with that same white man bullshit rhetoric that he spoke right there. So that's the only part that I disliked. Other than that, I'm all for him going to get the bag and what he did for Jackson State, even with the drama that happened with Jackson State not paying him what he was due. Again, I totally support that. I just hate that bullshit rhetoric where he was like, 2-parent household, GPA of this how. I'm okay with that. But again, I'm sorry, I'm not okay with that because your own son comes from a divorce home. So that means your own son can't play for you. And then again, let's stop putting it out there like if you come from a single parent household, you fucked up, because I come from a single parent home and I think I'm a decent black man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a married man right now. I need to go put my ring on. My wife gonna beat my ass, but I'm a married man, and I'm a happily married man, educated, prior military, and all that. And so you're not gonna disrespect me and every other kid just because your parents can make it work. So that's what I think he's. I'm not gonna say he's a bitch ass nigga, but he got some of that Sambo energy that he giving to me.
Yeah. I agree with everything that he said. And I also want to add that my biggest issue was, and I'm a community person. not to the point I want to note that I would not take accountability for Black people and the things that we do, but I am a community based person. And I really feel like he sold our community, Black people and HBCU students, alums, former students, graduate students, whatever. He sold us a dream. You know, in actuality, he used us to elevate himself into a place where he actually wanted to be. You know, he couldn't get a head coaching job at a Division I school just off of his name. So he used Black colleges as his guinea pig to create a level of success just enough to get him to where he wanted to be. Now, like you said, I don't have a problem with, you know, elevating oneself. It was never about the money. It was never about having an issue with him moving on per se. The issue was that he committed to Black colleges. He committed to those Black athletes. You know what I'm saying? He committed to inciting a change. He spent years pushing that narrative. And as soon as he got another opportunity, mind you, at a school that is truthfully beneath Jackson State. It is beneath Jackson State. Okay? He took it and ran. And then suddenly there are all these issues with Jackson State. Now all of a sudden there's a campaign with him and his children and everyone to now try to trash the same school that he was on podcasts and doing interviews on Fox News and trying to uplift. But now that he's gone and getting flack for it, he is on a campaign to diminish the school itself. It was very, very disappointing. But, you know, when I took a step back and looked at the overview of who he is, I realized that it was we should have expected it from someone like him, because he's done that his entire career. You know what I'm saying? Always jumped at the better opportunity. There's never been any loyalty within him. I should have expected it. We all should have expected it. But he was just so gun-ho on HBCUs. Huh?
Must be the money. He had a song said, must be the money.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, he is a sellout. He is a sellout, and not because he just took another opportunity, but because he simply chose to commit and then he decommitted before he finished the task at hand. It was never just about winning Jackson State a championship. He pushed the narrative of changing the culture around HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? That's different. So, you know, in the spirit of your podcast and keeping it real, fuck him.
Jasmine, you went to, so as a Black woman that went to a PWI, how do you feel?
A bunch of things. So the big one for me, where I start with everybody, especially as a person who has spent time with, like, people criticize Black entertainers in my former life. Or maybe whatever, I was acting, and people criticize actors a lot around, you know, what kind of roles we take and all that other stuff. And at the end of the day, and I've heard a couple of like celebrities say it, like, y'all are always down for me to be down with the cause, but not one of you are offering anything to help me feed my kids. Right? So I always have to start there and say, ultimately, that I think rings supreme, right? Because the community's gonna be there only so long. Our community just doesn't do the things that it used to do, right? It's not like, oh, we dipping in and contributing and, you know, making sure that his family's safe and making sure that, or anybody, right? Like the comparisons that we can make it to is like civil rights and stuff like that. So that's always hard for me to say, because we really can't decide how someone has to take care of their families. That's number one. But I feel like he is no different than what a lot of us have done. So I look at people like Bill Cosby, right? He gets on and talks about pulling your pants up. Like we've seen this over and over and
Mm,
over again. And yeah, I do think we should have saw it coming. I never felt like he was walking the walk, right? Like he
yeah.
did it as a stepping stone the same way a lot of people do it as a stepping stone. Um, in the same way that people feel like, oh, you don't support them when they make the sacrifice. Well, yeah, that's true because I have the expectation that when it's time for you to actually stay the course and commit, you're not going to. You
Mm-hmm.
get the same energy back that you give. And so, you know, I do feel like for the people who had higher expectations of him, I get why people are disappointed.
Yeah.
For me, I heard it and I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm not shocked. Um,
Yeah.
I will also say, as a community, right, like taking him completely out of it, the commitment to HBCUs is bigger than a notion. So everybody who says,
Yes.
if I was in this position, I would do this and I would do that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you think you would until you have to. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the only place where I go, you really don't know what's going on behind closed doors and what he's had to do and say and blah 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 to get the stuff that's needed to happen. It's not. We know what the issue is with HBCUs. We know it's financial. We know we got a lot of alums who do have the money to make contributions and all of that stuff. I mean, as someone who went to a PWI, I will say, and it's gonna go down a whole different path. So I'm just gonna make a quick exit right here and come back. But when you say Alabama State, like y'all know, like my family went to Alabama State in the 50s, right? Like my
Yeah.
grandfather and his four brothers all went to Alabama State on a GI Bill. I was absolutely going to Alabama State until like I wasn't getting no money,
Right.
right? Until other people started offering me scholarship money. And it wasn't a matter of, oh, I don't want to go here or I don't want to do this. It was about, okay, what's gonna set me up so that I don't have student loans when I graduate. And
Mm-hmm.
that's put me on a completely different path. And so as someone who is down for the cause and was raised in a house where Alabama State, I went to homecomings as a kid. Like I know the life. I knew that for a fact that's what I was gonna do growing up. And then it got real. And so it's hard for me to say like, nah, like you should always be down for the cause because I clearly did not. And I had my reasons for doing so. I love HBCUs. I would still, after I graduated, go and recruit at HBCUs. I did whatever I could to bridge the gap and bring people along and give them opportunities that I may have gotten at my PWI. Um, and I also am part of tons of other organizations that are Black as well, right? So there's also other places where I'm getting that. But from a perspective of walking the walk, it gets a little hard. And you asking people to make sacrifices that not so sure if you were in that position you'd make.
Mm-hmm.
That's just outside of him though, right? Like that's separate from that whole line.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm still on the cause of should he have should he have said some of the things he said? No.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like should he have made it? Oh, I'm gonna uplift the culture. I'm gonna do this. Probably not. But when you being a sports fan, being somebody that kind of follows sports and pop culture at the same time, it's no different. He still did nothing different than anybody like Nick Saban or Brian Kelly or any of these other coaches have done.
Dan Mullen went from Mississippi State to Florida, took his
Damn,
dream.
like he
Mm-hmm.
did nothing different. The only difference is he made all these promises to us that
Yeah.
he did not stand on. So I like and like you kind of said, when I took a step back after listening to the episode, I was like, okay, I know in the episode I was all for it, but then when I took a step back and actually thought about it, all right, now I can kind of see both sides of the coin. Um,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to get from it. Like I never
Yes.
wanted it to be, one sided. I want to be able to see both sides, and as passionate as you and Britt were with y'all's argument, like I saw both sides. Um, is he a bitch ass nigga now? Probably not.
Shit.
We'll, we'll call
Listen,
him we'll call him a fuck nigga, but we ain't gonna call him a
listen.
bitch ass nigga.
Let me say this though. I also understand both sides of the coin. Like I completely could speak to everything that Jasmine just said. And I took that into consideration when I really thought about how I felt about what he did. But like you said, nobody told Deion Sanders to take this on. You know what I'm saying? This isn't just a situation where he landed at Jackson State and then chose to leave. He campaigned for that job. He campaigned for the community. He campaigned to change HBCUs. That was his whole platform. And I'm talking for years. So those broken promises were heartbreaking because nobody asked him to do that. He could have came and went. Nobody would have cared. You understand what I'm saying? He could have done the exact same thing Nick Saban did and all those other people that I don't know that y'all just listed. He could have did the same thing, but he didn't. And his situation is different. And I think that's the disconnect that the argument itself had with a lot of people is not understanding or caring about those promises, and just being like, chase the money, get the bag. You know, nobody has time to be doing that. Feed a family, whoop-de-woo. And that's like, that was never an issue. That was never the problem. You know, so.
And here's the thing: he talks too damn much, right? Like,
He does,
if we
girl.
come
He
down
does.
to like what it is, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Like, and he's always been like that, right? Like, from a perspective of that's
Yeah.
who he is. And he can't back it up. He just runs off at the mouth. He does what a lot of people. I mean, shoot, if you want to take it to relationships, people make a lot of promises that they can't back up, and then they get themselves in it and go, "Oops,
Yep.
I didn't think it was gonna be this hard." Well,
Agreed.
you should have done your research, right?
Yeah.
And so his problem really is just always he has a big ass ego.
Yeah, that too.
Big ass ego. He think he can cover. You know, I could do it. Yeah, okay, nigga. A lot of people have been trying to do the same thing you talking about.
But that's a part of his
couldn't stand the test.
It is. It's a part of his persona.
That's a part of his persona. He's not just Deion Sanders. He's prime time. He's Coach Prime. Like,
and
that's
look where it got him.
I mean, yeah. And then
where it got him.
I think he did the same thing that other coaches did, because when you come into a football program, like, this is just speaking of football terms, in order to build that program up, you have to have something attractive about that program in order to get those big time recruits. He would not have gotten Travis Hunter, who was the number one player in the nation, to go to a Power 5 HBCU in the first place if he wasn't Coach Prime, Deion Sanders prime time. So he needed it in order for him to build that program up to what it was, because it was the number one and number two SWAC program in the nation at the time. He had built that up, and so I don't think he failed on a lot of those promises. He didn't say he was going to be there. He never said he was going to retire there. So I don't fault him for that. But I do get what you're saying. He did say, like, you know, I'm here to change the culture. So I mean, and I don't feel that he did change the culture, because he at least laid a blueprint. He laid a blueprint for the next coach, but that next coach isn't going to have that cachet of a Deion Sanders. So unless you get another guy to come in who is just as successful as him, which is, you know, Deion Sanders, one of the greatest players of all time, it's going to be hard for him to follow that same blueprint, because he's not him. So again, I get what you're saying there, and I agree with you in that way.
I feel like he could have left gracefully. I feel like this could have died down, and he could have respectfully.
You weren't gonna let that happen.
But like Jasmine said, because he talked too fucking much. You know what I'm saying? He runs his mouth, and so he got what he got.
And I mean, honestly, so if we being honest, when I heard he was going to Jackson State, I was like, that's interesting. Why not go back to your, like, nobody at your alma mater wanted you?
They didn't want it.
Nobody at Florida State decided to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Deion, just come coach the cornerbacks."
Right.
And then we'll slowly just, push you up there.
Nope. I mean, I heard that he didn't want to go through that process.
He didn't.
You know what I'm saying? I heard he wanted to go straight to head coach, and the only place that he could get a head coaching job and skip the whole process was in HBCU. So that's why I say I feel used, because I feel like there was always an agenda for him to take advantage of the culture to elevate himself to where he wanted to be. So when I hear him talking about his kids and his family, I don't give a fuck about none of that, because I really don't, because I don't feel like he was ever sincere. I feel like he just played us all, and it's hurtful, because like you said, we did see a change. We were seeing a cultural change amongst athletics at HBCUs, and then he just left.
She's about
And
to
it
say,
was like,
she's about to say this.
ugh.
She's about to say this bitch ass nigga, y'all.
I
I saw it in
definitely
the face.
was. I definitely
Oh
was.
man.
I'm
So
trying to keep it PG-13, not rated R up in here. So
when has Hurts for 11 been PG-13? We've had whole conversations about anal like 3 weeks ago. So no.
what?
Hey, that look.
Go back to watch.
The content creator episode with all the ladies
Mhm.
got crazy. But no, so and it kind of transitions into what we're about to talk about now. The culture.
Mhm.
So for anybody that doesn't know, Moneybagg Yo is a rapper from Memphis. Got a song called Waukesha. It Time Today, if y'all know that joint. But Moneybagg has a restaurant here in Memphis. And basically he's gone viral on social media because he's charging $100 for a 40-ounce tomahawk steak.
Mhm.
And folks are like, $100 for some meat? Bitch, what? Now, I'm gonna speak for me. Before I was elevated with this promotion, and my boss being the type of boss he is, I didn't go to steakhouses because one, I couldn't afford that shit. Just gonna be 100. Two,
With that.
I feel like they had a dress code, and I don't like wearing slacks and polo shirts. That's just me. But seeing some of these, but being in some of these spaces now, these steakhouses, I looked at some of these prices the very first time I went to Roof Chris. I said, "Who the fuck is finna pay $65 for some steak?" And that's not including size. That's just the
It's just the
steak.
meat. Yeah.
And then like all the sides are like a la carte. Now they give you a lot of the sides, but who about to spend that on some meat? So he's gone viral because of course it's a 40-ounce tomahawk steak and it's $100, and folks are like, well, why is it so expensive? Or like, why he think that this is okay? And I saw a couple statuses like, what's wrong with the price?
Yeah.
Because if you go to Roof Chris, you go to Fleming's, you go to any of these
Capital Grill, STK, they all start off at like 70.
Yeah.
So
right, you go to these any of these high end steakhouses, that's what you paying. Now if you used to paying the Applebee's 2 for $20, or you paying that $30-$40 at Chili's for a steak, this ain't for you.
right.
Or if you splurge a little bit when you get your taxes, cool. But I feel like the culture is kind of turning their back on this man. Like, man, how the hell you gonna charge us this? But if let's say Moneybagg Yo had nothing to do with this restaurant.
Right.
This is just a regular, like a Capital Grill or something like that.
Right.
And they said it's a 40-ounce tomahawk steak, and it's $100. Oh, you gonna swipe your card fast as fuck.
Right.
So how do y'all feel like, or why do y'all feel like the culture is kind of like this? Like, why can't we support our own without question, as opposed to if somebody of the Caucasian persuasion or a fighter of the sun says This is the price, and we don't buy the fucking eye.
Man,
Whoever wants to go first can go first.
that's a question right there. Ooh.
Who has
I'm
the
annoyed
answer
as
to
hell.
that? Huh?
Huh?
I'm annoyed as hell.
Yeah. First off, who even has the answer to that? There's so much to unpack on the why. I don't
Ooh,
even know how
That's
to unpack
exactly
that. I
what I
just know
said.
it's ignorant.
that's
Huh?
one of the most layered questions
That's
I've
exactly what I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
I was like, there's a
don't.
whole slew of reasons, right? So if we go all the way to, well, why you feel like that?
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
feel that way because, oh, it's him. He should charge less. Charge us for who? Charge
Right.
less because it's us? Because you do realize that we ain't the only people walking through them doors, right? So he charged
Exactly.
regular price for the white folks and regular price for us
Yeah.
and call it reparations. Like, come on, y'all. Like, let's be real.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
First of
crazy.
all,
It's crazy too because like I'm gonna just step in here because they're mad because Moneybag Yo looks like us, and they're like, oh, bro, it's basically that brother coming into the t-shirt shop, a black-owned t-shirt shop, like, bruh, come on, brother, I know you said 40, but you got me though, right? That's basically what they're doing because, again, like Big Herc said, man, like I've never gone to Ruth's Chris, but I love Fogo de Chao, Texas de Brazil. I don't know if y'all consider those like upscale steakhouses, but I love those places. I prefer Texas de Brazil because I get a veterans discount. So again, I'm cheap, but I prefer that place. But again, I see motherfuckers paying thousands of dollars to go get meat served on them like this from old Salt Bay, and they don't say shit about that because it's him. But Moneybag Yo, again, if it's up to standard, like if it's a legit fine dining restaurant, then why not pay that man that? Because that's what he values that restaurant at. If you don't like it, don't go. That's just like the brother going into the t-shirt shop, going into where you sell the shoes, like, bro, can I get that brother discount? No, motherfucker, you can't. You can pay me the same rate that everybody else is paying. And if not, then I don't need your service. But again, it's just, I think it's because we look at people who make it and they say, well, you made it, so you can spare a little bit to help out another brother. And I just think we need to get out of that mindset, because how are we going to expect other brothers and sisters to get out there and venture out and open up places like that in order to, bring that money in our community? So like we gotta help each other out by not hurting each other. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate that. And I didn't even know about this one. I should have looked this up before I started.
I looked it up right before.
I didn't know either. Crazy though. I did not know motherfuckers get mad about that. And that's just the dumbest shit, because if you don't like it, don't go. If you can't afford it, don't go. But if you don't like it, don't go. But again, don't complain about the price, because the price is the price. I don't go into McDonald's and say, bro, back when I was in high school, you can get a double cheeseburger for $1. What's going on? Can I still get that price? It's the same thing. So it's just do you want him to go broke? Or if it's a legit, again, I don't want him to be serving. I don't want Chick-fil-A prices with Popeye service. So again, I want the service to be up to standard. Mm-hmm. That's just my 2 cents though.
So before y'all answer, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all some. I'm gonna read this and give y'all some of the comments.
Okay.
The upscale restaurant's menu features a wide selection of delectable entrees and desserts, but fans are shocked by the price of their 40-ounce tomahawk steak. According to the menu, the price for the steak dinner is $135. Some people think that price is too high for a steak dinner. Some of the comments say Moneybag Yo restaurant so high. Now, keep in mind this person did spell restaurant wrong. That's a different story. Do he not remember?
That shit, wow. That's wild.
Do he not remember when he was starving in them apartments? Be fucking for real. 2 crying laughing emojis. Said one person. One person said the price ain't the issue. It's what quality of food I'm gonna get for that price, because I don't trust Moneybag to cook me $135 steak. He not cooking the shit.
Somebody else funding it. He's not cooking it.
That's not right. Yeah.
Moneybag want $100 for a steak. I'll pay that, and he better come out and rap. According to Tomahawk.com, a steakhouse in Singapore, the Tomahawk steaks are usually expensive. Are usually more expensive than other types of steak, because of its juiciness and tenderness due to the cut from the ribeye, which has more fat content. So Moneybag Yo's price for his tomahawk steak is reasonably priced for that particular cut of meat. Plus, it's an upscale restaurant, so you might as well treat yourself to some high quality steak dinner. They mad at Moneybag because he's selling a tomahawk steak at the price it goes for. Some people are saying support him. This one says $100 steak ain't rare, but this is why black capitalism is silly. Black capitalists just do things other capitalists do. LOL. How does that serve anyone?
This is ignorance, Mark. This is ignorance.
If that Moneybag Yo $100 steak in Memphis tastes as good as Memphis barbecue, they'll buy it. Can't even compare the two because Memphis barbecue is undefeated. Why y'all at Moneybags restaurant complaining about the price of steak when Golden Corral is right there?
That.
I love
Well,
this.
here's my thing. Who told you to go and get the tomahawk steak? I'm sure there are other things in there that is not priced at $100 and some. You can go ahead and slide on past the tomahawk steak, but no, you got to be mad about something that really ain't for you.
That part.
Exactly.
It
You
just
got to
sounds
ask
like
the price.
hatred.
You probably can't afford it. Don't.
Yeah. It sounds like haters to me. Like it's that crab in the bucket mentality. One crab tries to get out. They want to drag his ass down. It's just ignorant, you know. And the thing about social media is one person could say something, and it'll just have this trickle effect. Now
Right.
everybody feels that way and wants to talk about it, but nobody with sense is commenting because they're getting the steak that they can afford. You know what I'm saying? It's just haters,
So
Eat
I'm
your beans.
Mm-hmm.
right. So me personally, so I'm gonna speak from experience. So when my boss takes us out or took us out to these steak dinners,
Mm-hmm.
I had one coworker. He was like, "Hey, can I get a tomahawk?" My boss looked at him. He said, "Hey, no, motherfucker, because we all gotta eat. Like it ain't just you. Like now, if it's just you and me, I might swing the tomahawk for you. But it's me and like 2-3 other people that gotta eat,
Right.
and this coming out of my pocket. The company only paying for so much. So, you know, I will say I would order that $65 steak and rack up on sides. But this man would try to so his trick was he would try to order the tomahawk, and when they got shut down, he will order another piece of meat, but he would make sure that he got extra toppings and shit. I was like, bro, at this point, you might as well have got the fucking
Just
tomahawk.
got the tomahawk. Yeah.
Because you done spent $100. Like, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
So eat with like Roy said, man, eat within your means.
That part.
Yeah, some of us, and well, when I say some of us, I mean people like myself. No, let me not do that. Some of y'all can only go to Moneybag restaurant during tax time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all can afford to, go to Moneybag Yo restaurant whenever y'all want to.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all stick to Chili's and Applebee's and Outback Steakhouse.
Nothing wrong with that.
So
It's just the entitlement, right? Like
Yeah.
the fact that like, oh, because it's him, then he should have stuff that's priced for people, for us, because he remember what it was like and all this other stuff. First of all, that ain't everybody's experience. So let's not make that the uniform black experience of like, oh, he know how it feel. Yeah, he may be rapping about that, and maybe he do, but the person down the street may not. So don't make that the thing. And then also, like, his name is, he's backing the restaurant. He's taking his money. He's investing in this restaurant is what I presume, whatever the case is. But for y'all to think that like it's an investment, like that just shows how sometimes we just don't understand the context, right? Like he's investing in this as a stream of income to provide something. I don't know why restaurant was it for him, because restaurants low key don't make money for the first 3-5 years. So live your best life, bro. But like the fact that he's doing this This doesn't like give us some sort of access to him. That doesn't mean like his name is on it. That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Agreed.
One thing about Black people is we always have something to say. And it doesn't matter where you come from. We always have something to say. There will always be a Black person that has something to say about whatever we do. And that's unfortunate because a lot of times that something to say is negative. But again, there's a lot to unpack there. It's just
I guarantee, Miss Stacy, I guarantee if Drake, I know Drake goes to Memphis sometimes, right? I know his dad's from Memphis. If Drake ate at that restaurant and posted about it tomorrow on his Instagram, I bet you it will be flooded with Black people like, oh,
absolutely.
Shit, you know, I gotta eat here because Drake ate here. I guarantee it will be like that because we don't go to those restaurants like that anyway. I mean, at least I don't, but we don't do shit like that unless it's for the attention. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see somebody go to, like, I think, what's the popular restaurant in LA? Nobu's? No, I heard Nobu's is like Nobu's is like super expensive, super upscale, all that. But you see a lot of us in there. Why? We don't really, I mean, at least me, I don't
just for the name.
Just for the name and the recognition. Like, oh, you know, this person's ate here. So I guarantee it's all about just that. Like, if Drake was like, yo, you got to come down here to Moneybag Yo Steakhouse and eat at the spot, I guarantee that motherfucker will be flooded with a bunch of niggas in there tomorrow talking about, yo, shit, Drake eat here, I'm gonna eat here too. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take it a step further. If Drake was the one funding the restaurant, the outcry would be different. You know what I'm saying? We as a community pick and choose. We pick and choose. Yeah. I can't tell you why or what it is, but we pick and choose. If Drake was the one back in that restaurant, it would have been the place to go. Maybe because Moneybag Yo is a hood nigga and he from Memphis, and you know, I can't understand what he's saying, but you know, maybe because he's him, they feel like that is, you know, that kind of restaurant, and that the status that holds is he's beneath that, which is messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's right. So when you messed up.
My bad. When you use Drake as an example, I was like, that opens up a whole nother
right.
Right. There's all kinds of reasons why specifically Drake would get a different response, right? Like that's
Drake.
You know what I mean? Like all the reasons. People like, oh, I used to watch Degrassi. Like people are crazy. Like, I don't understand what's wrong with us.
Right. Well, I will say this. Moneybag. Don't know if you ever hear this, but if you happen to hear this, congrats, my guy. Do your thing. When I am able to afford your restaurant, I will, you know, grace it with my presence. Or if you just want to, you know, comp your boy a donation to Herc's World, so I ain't got to pay for a couple things, I'll come eat there. I will pay full price. I don't need no discount. You know, because you know niggas be trying for discounts. But we're gonna go to break. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned. I think we're gonna get a little messy. And this is gonna, like, if y'all think Stacey called Dion a bitch ass nigga last time, wait till she get y'all opinion about this next topic. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Herc's World. I'm none other than your girlfriend's favorite podcast host, The Big Hurt. And if she says I'm not, that heifer lying. I started to call her a whore, but I need to stop doing that. Because somebody gonna try to fight me one day. Like, why would you call my girlfriend a whore? Because she liar. Why you want to associate yourself with a liar? So before I get to the juicy topic, we're gonna slide. We're gonna make our way up to it. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna do some foreplay, as people call it. I saw a post on Facebook where I'm gonna read it to y'all. Craziest shit ever, but hey, you know, it is what it is. We dated for 3 years, and he still did not propose. I took it upon myself to get on my knees and ask him to marry me. Why not? Life is short after all. There's more to the caption, but I didn't screenshot all that. If y'all really want me to finish the whole caption, I will. But y'all get the gist of it. Ladies, y'all are very successful women with husbands and boyfriends and lots of gentlemen callers. Um,
Wait, what?
you got lots.
You lost us at the lots of gentlemen callers.
I mean, people maybe wanting to slide in y'all DMs. They just a little scared or nervous.
As they should be.
I mean, have y'all not heard some of the shit Jasmine say? But the rest of the caption says, "Life is short after all," and he said yes. Now this lady is from Cameroon.
What's that? Africa?
Yeah.
Hold on. Is that the picture? I saw a picture floating around where this girl was on her knees proposing to this man, and she looked African. Is it that one?
It is that one.
Okay.
That was the loudest eye roll I've ever seen.
I heard that one. Like if y'all
heard that motherfucker.
Because I would just jump right in and say, "Girl, get your ass off that ground."
Go ahead.
And her family somewhere saying the same damn thing. Like, ain't nobody out here. Where her people at?
Okay.
Where are her people? And you done took a picture of it and put it on the internet. How for no?
Crazy.
You have brought us shame.
She put y'all back. With that one.
Wait.
My
wait a minute.
gosh.
This nigga not even cute.
Man.
Niggas, but this nigga.
Care if it was Jesus.
You get your ass off
You not
that
gonna
ground.
propose to Jesus?
No. If he don't, if he's not proposing to me, then I'm not proposing to him.
So the women are proposing to the guys. LaRoyce,
no.
If your wife.
No.
It's been 3 years, bro. She tired of waiting.
Bruh,
so she took it on herself.
She didn't stay too long as it is.
First off, I'm saying like this.
That part.
A man knows whether or not he's going to marry a woman in the first 6 months. Yes. So if he has not if he's been with you, ladies, if you listening, I know y'all listen to Big Herc's podcast, but I know y'all listen to this right now. If a man is with you for 6 months, he knows at that 6 month mark whether he's going to put a ring on it. So if he got you waiting for 3, 4, 5 years, that means it's something that you are missing that he is not seeing.
You about to give me cut. You about to give me cut.
I want to add to that. I do feel like there are other reasons why men don't propose. It could be because he's trying to get his life together. It could be because he's not in the position to, or there are just a plethora of reasons why a man hasn't proposed. But I do agree that within the first 6 months, he knows how far he wants to take it. Whether he's done it or not, he still knows.
He knows.
Y'all know there was a show about this, right? There was a whole I think it was on. I want to say it was on, but it was basically women who were tired of waiting, and the show basically went down this path where you plot and plan and say y'all on a show for a different reason. You go up to the dude in public and propose, and then you've already planned a wedding. So if he says yes, y'all go get married like that day.
That's crazy.
And the destruction that unfolded in these people's lives, right? Like there were 2 or 3 couples that were like, yes, he was like, I didn't do it for some of the reasons you were saying, right? Like they had reasons. They were like, I don't feel like I'm good enough for you, or I'm trying to make sure I can get a ring. That's like all this other stuff. Part of it is like the show made the wedding possible, right? Type of a situation,
right.
For all the ones that didn't know, whoa, you want to talk about she was like, there were dudes who got to the altar and was like, nah, I ain't think you meant like right now. Like, not
Yeah.
for real. There were
Yeah.
dudes who were like, yes, in the moment. Because I always said that if I didn't want to marry somebody and they proposed to me publicly, I would say yeah. And then we got
Yeah.
behind closed doors, I would have been like, bruh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I
Agreed.
ain't going to embarrass you. If I have any care for you, I'm not going to embarrass you like that.
Agreed. Agreed.
I did that. I ain't gonna lie, I did that. But again, that's one of the like that as a man. Again, I know I don't like starting sentences off like that because it's a general blanket statement. But as a man, you want to have to ask your future father-in-law, can I have your daughter's hand, in marriage? And then you want to plan that proposal because that's something that you can never get back. And then as a man, you want to do that. So I just like after when I met my wife, I knew I was with her for 4 months, and then I had a friend that passed away, and then the way she was supporting me through that, I was like, I can't live without this woman, so I'm going to ask her ASAP. It may have taken us a while to get married, but I knew I'm going to put a ring on it because I'm letting her know now, you mine for the rest of my life. Like, baby, this forever. Like this, I'm going to say it in Spanish, this para siempre, amor. So I let you know.
I definitely think it's emasculating. I feel like if just as a woman, if I saw that, I would immediately think that she wore the pants in the relationship. When I saw those pictures on Facebook, I was embarrassed for him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know what I'm saying? I know how that relationship functions. I know that for me personally, I would always question if this man really wanted to be with me, if I had to get on my knees and propose to him. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If he hasn't proposed yet after so long, you know what I'm saying? Then girl, he doesn't want to marry you and you can't force him. But a lot of women will stick around and stay because they feel invested and then try to create this scenario to get married by any means. And then just for me, that's just not good enough. I was embarrassed for him and I was just like mad at her. Like, get up off that ground. You look insane. You look crazy, and nobody is gonna respect that, So it's to me, it's like you're begging.
I agree.
And I don't like that.
So I'll say this. You didn't have to say it in Spanish, Royce. Like we know you getting some later today, whatever. That's what
yeah. Let that ass up tonight.
Better put that ring on.
I did. Ain't no fucking and seeing around here.
2. I did kind of, look at him like, bruh, why you got this woman on her knees like this? So that's 2. 3. If I ever propose to a woman again, which I do plan on doing,
better,
and this woman says no, the devil himself is gonna help me uppercut the fuck out of that woman. I'm talking about this uppercut is coming from the depths of hell.
Why?
Because I am. Just because
you're not entitled to a yes based off of a proposal.
If it's pure embarrassment for me.
If you do it out in public, okay, I understand.
Because I'm gonna do it in public.
Okay.
I've literally mapped out a couple different ways about how I want to propose to babe. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna say why, because she gonna hear this and it's like, oh what? No, it's coming. just know it's coming. But if we in public and I get down on my knee, as bad as these motherfuckers be hurting sometimes, and I say, hey, you are the person, you are my one, you are the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. Mm-hmm. And you fix your lips to say no, my head is gonna drop. Just like if y'all watching this on YouTube, my head is gonna drop, my eyes are gonna close, and you're gonna see me come from the depths of hell, and I'm gonna try to all this chin here. I'm trying to break your I'm trying to Mortal Kombat if y'all never played Mortal Kombat 11, like
Yeah,
when
that
you
that uppercut move. Yeah.
like you know how they be showing like
Yeah.
the bones breaking. I'm trying to break all that shit, and I'm trying to hit your ass to the point where you fly at least 45 feet.
It's
Because
unlikely that you're gonna get a yes after that either.
Right.
you already, bro, you've already said no. So at this
Relationship
point,
over.
it's over.
I'm like,
Over.
there's no coming
Like,
back from that. So
It's
Right.
not like you. I proposed to you. You told me no. The shit is over. Now I'm embarrassed. Now you got to catch this uppercut.
You gotta get your lick back.
I got it. I got to get my. I
You gotta
got.
get
I
your
got to
lick
get my
back.
leg back. Now, granted, I don't know if y'all watch Love Is Blind on Netflix, but there was the premise of the show is you you date these different people in these pods. You never see these people. You basically, for lack of better words, fall in love with their personality, with their charm and their voice without ever seeing them. And if the man feels that this is his person, what he has to do is he'll get down in his pod on one knee. Hey, so and so, I really love you. I care about you. Will you marry me? The woman has the option to say yes or no. But I'm telling this story because there was a couple on this last season. The guy told this guy named Zach basically told this one girl like, "Hey, I really, really care about you, but I'm gonna pick this other chick." And he proposed to the other chick, and they were on their quote unquote honeymoon because what they do, like once you get married, or I'm sorry, once you get engaged, they send you on your honeymoon to Mexico, and then you spend like a couple days in Mexico, and then they bring you back to the real world where you got to tell your people, and then they throw you this wedding, and then it's up to you to say yes or no at the wedding. But he proposed to this other chick. The chick said yeah, but then when they were in Mexico, he realized, you know what? You really ain't the one for me. Like I picked the wrong person.
Right.
And so he found the other chick that he was talking to. They went out on a date. They ended up dating. He proposed to her. They went along with the wedding. They got married. So can you come back from a no? Yeah, because she, forgave like, hey, I'm gonna give you another chance. But
That didn't me.
if you tell me no, oh, it's a wrap for your ass. I'm sorry.
I haven't had to think about this since 2009. Somebody saying no.
Oh,
But
no, you a vet in the game.
I'm a vet in the game. But I would say that based off of my experiences prior to that, and based off the person that I am, there is no spinning the block with me. You know what I'm saying? If I get a no, if I get a rejection, I'm not gonna uppercut anybody. I'm gonna walk away gracefully. But there's no spinning the block. I feel like I'm too much of a quality woman to let somebody not be sure. You know what I'm saying? Or it's a no for me. So, but shout out to homegirl. She let him spin the block on her, but that's
She shot her shot like Kobe, man.
Yeah.
Well, no, he like so it was literally him. He was like, look, I made the wrong choice. I want to try. Like I legitimately do have feelings for you, and I love you. I want to get to know you. Blah blah blah. And she was like, I'm heartbroken, but I'm gonna try. Couldn't have been me.
I feel like this argument waiting to happen in the future. I feel like they be arguing one day, and then he gonna say some shit, and then she, oh, that's why you wanted the other bitch. I'm like, oh shit.
Exactly.
And no, she literally. I'm talking about until the day they actually, even in the reunion show is this week, but she never let that nigga forget, like, you know, you didn't choose me. I was your second choice.
Yeah.
Bruh.
And that plays a
Um,
role, like, I feel like
yeah.
in relationships and especially in marriage, you don't ever want that doubt there. You don't ever want, because doubt creates suspicion, doubt creates insecurities. You know what I'm saying? And those are things that could destroy a marriage or a relationship. So, you know, I would never, and that's why I said I would never spin the block, because, or I would never let someone like reject me and to come back. In her situation, bro, if you felt like at any moment in time that this woman topped me, you're gonna have to stand on that shit. Because I don't want my husband to be, you know, second tiering me. You know what I'm saying? For my husband, I'm top tier. For my husband, it's me or bust. You know what I'm saying? There are no second, third. For my husband, it's me or it's nothing. There's no second choice, third choice, fourth. It's me, and that's life. And if I can't walk into a marriage like that or a relationship like that, and this speaks for any stage in my life I felt like this, then nigga, you gonna have to stand on that.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
tell
make some
y'all.
people mad.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
How you
Go
be in a relationship and not know what to expect? And maybe there's some people who gotta know out there who's like, you know what? And they gonna come from my neck, and that's fine. But how you walk into a proposal and get a no that your ass wasn't expecting? You know there's a possibility
Yeah.
that this person may say no and you do it anyway. Like, you took that risk with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where have you been? Are you not present in the same relationship? I got so many questions because when people
Yes.
say no, I'll be like, why?
You missing
Yeah.
something.
Right.
Somebody missed something. I don't know who it was.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna say it was the person who asked. Maybe it's the person who said no, because somebody ain't telling the truth.
Yes.
Somebody ain't looking in the mirror. Somebody lying to themselves. Somebody mama lying. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you asked their mama and dad and they was like, take us out, take them off our hands. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the way, somebody done promised some stuff that ain't true.
Something the milk ain't clean.
Something. Yeah.
A yes in the middle of the night and a yes during the day.
That part.
So, I had a question, and I kind of okay. Here's the question. So, the married people on the show cannot answer. So, Jasmine, this is strictly for you. And I can't answer because
how do I feel about that? Okay, carry on. Is this like okay?
The name of the show is Herc's World. I do what I want to do.
I know when you've been coming at me, and I'm gonna let it go. But okay.
Okay, just make sure. So, do you believe in spinning the block? And when I say spin a block, what I mean is you had this one guy, y'all made, y'all, let's say y'all split up on applicable terms. It wasn't a bad breakup. Y'all just weren't made for each other at that point. Do you feel like it's okay to spin the block if that person comes back into your life and says, hey, I'm a better person now. I'm showing you I'm a better person. I want to show you the new me. Do you spin the block or you just like, nah, nigga, you had your chance. You blew it. Kill yourself.
There are too many what ifs to answer that question. So if we're talking about, it depends on the level, how far the relationship goes. If we dated for a little while and we were both, I don't know, broke, right? Like, a relationship can end for those reasons. Yeah. And yeah, I hope you do grow up, right? Like, I hope we both do become better people in a few years, like that type of stuff. It depends on the reason. Now, if we were in a committed relationship and we were headed toward marriage already, and at some point we go decide this ain't it, hell no. What you gotta say to me now that you couldn't say to me then? Like, I don't understand.
I'm a better man now. That's what you're gonna say. I'm a better man.
I'm so happy for you.
I'm ready now.
That's wonderful.
You ain't spinning the block.
Hell, what am I spending? If we separated, at least for me, it was because I recognized that there was something in you that I could not love past or look past or whatever. I couldn't forget. Like, if I go through like my relationships, there have been situations where, well, this happened and I couldn't get past it. Whether they wanted to or not, as long as I keep reminding you of it, we both need to walk away, right? There's situations where, oh, wow, I didn't think this is who you were. And now that I know this is who you are, well, I don't know. It's people don't change. People really don't. There has to be a catalyst for people to change. I'm talking life-altering catalyst. People change only in those circumstances. But if you're talking about, oh, I got a better job, you ain't changed. If you're talking about, oh, I went back to school, no, you ain't changed. You got into a car accident and thought your life flashed before your eyes, maybe you did change. That might do it. Your mama died. Like, tell me, something's going to have to happen for you to be a different person. Otherwise, you're not going to be. And there's nothing else you could say to me at this point that's going to convince me that I'm not walking back into the same situation that I walked out of. And I ain't crazy. I don't keep doing the same thing expecting different results.
She said a word there. I'm gonna be 100. Y'all heard me tell last time Stacey was here, she was my Alabama State crush. There's only like 3 people. I don't even want to say 3 people. There are literally only 2 people that I'd be like, you know what? I really, really like Stacey, but these 2 people will come before Stacey. Y'all want to know who those 2 people are? Ashanti and Maya. Just saying. Do with that information which I will, but those are like, I know she said, she had to be first when it came to her husband. But if Ashanti came to me and said, hey, I know you in a committed relationship, I love that for you. But I need you to, drop one off in me. I volunteer as tribute. Ashanti, I love you, just so you know.
I hope it works out. But if it doesn't,
I mean,
where you can't come back.
So you telling me if the one person comes up to you and says, hey, look, I know you married, I respect it, but I want you for myself. You not gonna leave your husband?
Hell no.
Loris, you gonna leave your wife? Tell the truth.
Nope.
Okay. I wouldn't leave back either, but what?
Nah, bro, I'm not leaving. It's funny. I had my ex tried to spin the block on me after I got engaged. Yeah.
No.
My wife don't know about that shit, but it's all
I was gonna say your wife listens to the podcast because if she do today,
you know now.
She does not. She won't see. So my wife doesn't speak English fluently, so she doesn't know.
Oh, okay.
So she don't know yet. We gonna translate that shit. No, I'm playing.
We probably will. I might tell her one day, but as of right now, nah, I'm good on that.
Does she know where this girl is?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Then you probably good. Go ahead and tell her, because she can't find her nothing.
Nah, that's cool. I just leave that out.
Well, no, and so the craziest shit to me has always been, why is it that when guys get their life together, and when I say get their life together, I mean find a woman that's for them, the person they want to spend their rest of their life, they want to marry. All these goddamn women come out of the woodworks like, oh, I liked you so much in high school. I liked you so much in college. Did you know I had a crush on you? Did you know I wanted you to smash me? Or I wanted to smash that night we were at the club together and we were slow winding, but I was drunk and I really couldn't tell you, so I don't know. Bitch, why you couldn't tell me this 3 years ago? When I was
you weren't the same person 3 years ago.
I was just about to say it's because you're different. Yeah,
you're different, and not only that,
I'm the same
the right
worthless
woman
ass nigga
can bring things out of you. Shut up.
I wasn't one for damn back then. I ain't one for damn now.
Look, I'm the same nigga that I was 3 years ago. I'm still an asshole. I'm still real sarcastic. I'm I'm a little lighter. I'm a little bit funnier. You could have told me this months ago.
There are things that have changed about you since we were 18 years old, Herc. Okay. There are things. There are things that have changed about you since 18. You know what I'm saying? And there is something very, very attractive. Not to say that I've ever done it, because I have not. But if I were to look at my husband right now, after I put 14 years of work into his ass, and as a couple, we have elevated from when we met at 20, you know what I'm saying? He is way more attractive to women now than when he was just a little asshole at Alabama State, playing football. You know what I'm saying? So if a woman hadn't seen him since college and she looked at him now, I get a girl. You know what I'm saying? He the shit, right? But he's mine. So I'm just saying. But that's the reason why, because they're getting the complete package and not little pieces. They're getting the full grown man who is loyal and, got his life together and this, that, and the third. And that is attractive, and men do it to women too.
I'm going to go back all the way. I'm going to say what my grandparents used to say. My grandfather used to tell my grandmother, and I ain't hear it firsthand. It's like third, fourth hand, but he used to tell her, don't tell other women what I do for you. And she would be like, okay. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. Because what he said is they will see that and they will think that they can get it too.
Yes.
What people make the mistake of is that who they are to somebody is not who they're going to be necessarily to you.
Yes.
So people be willing to risk it all on some, I see what she can do for him. Like I think even if there's a part of this that's like pure biology, right?
Right.
It's how do I secure my future? And people see other people's secured futures and be like, I'm going to give me one. Mm-hmm. But then you jack it up and they ain't going to be that person to you. There are so many people who have gone from the side piece to the main, or think they the main, or whatever it is that they think they going to do. Mm-hmm. And come to find out, they don't do half of that stuff because you came with a whole lot of extra problems, or you came with, like, you weren't doing what the other person was doing. People are going to be who they are to individuals. Mm-hmm. And that's just what it is. And so people see that and they're like, I want something, but you can't guarantee that some. Hell, you can't even guarantee a piece of it.
I agree.
You really can't.
I agree.
Yeah, so fellas, if you propose to these women and then all this extra coochie come out of nowhere, don't fall for it. It's fake. It's not real.
Do it.
Do it. It's cap. And ladies, please don't propose to these guys.
Please don't.
Because if the man really wanted to marry you, he would ask you. And he will, and I will say this: if a man legitimately wants to marry you, he will ask you on his own time, when he feels the time is right, when he is in a position to make that decision. Like Roy said, most guys know in 6 months. I knew about a year. Have I done it? No. I'm waiting for a couple things and a couple other things to fall into place. But most guys know 6 months to a year what we gonna do. So don't be out here proposing to these guys. But FYI, babe, when I do propose, and if you tell me no, just know I'm going to jail that day. So I don't condone hitting women by any means at all. But if we're in a public setting and I ask you for your hand in marriage and you tell me no, Lord Jesus, please forgive me for what I'm about to do. But we're going to go to break. We're going to get more into this whole men-women type deal. When we'll be right back with more Herc's World. Welcome back to Herc's World. I'm none other than your girlfriend's favorite podcast host, The Big Herc. And y'all know the rest. So, We're talking about women proposing to men before we went to break, but now we're gonna flip the script. Unless you've been living on a rock the last couple of days on social media, there is another viral topic. A 24-year-old soccer player, and let's just say, I mean, it's a soccer player. They not in America. Let's start there. He's in Europe. Is married or getting divorced from his 36-year-old wife, who is an actress and model. They have two kids together. Um, from what I've read, he is under investigation for a rape charge. But him and his wife is divorcing him. So she gets to court and is like, "Hey, I want this, this, and this, because we're getting divorced, and he should have to pay this, and he should have to pay that." Judge says, "Okay, cool, let's do it." But jokes on her, all his assets, cars, clothes, jewelry, money, bank accounts, are in his mama name, like the big timers. If y'all don't know this, if y'all don't get the reference to the big timers, got everything in my mama name.
Dang.
So
But
I'm hood rich, la da da. So yeah, um, she will probably get next to. I mean, she'll get a little bit, but he got to go to mama to get any type of money, to pay this woman. Social media has different mixed approaches. Some people are like, "Oh man, this man is a genius. He dodged the bullet. She a gold digger." Some people are like, "Why is this shit in his mama name? What type of mama's boy is he? What type of weird ass relationship him and his mama got going on, where all his shit is in her name?" So I posed the question to the panel, specifically LaRoyce and Stacy, because they said, "Hey, when you talk about this on Herc's World, we got to be there."
I want to talk about this.
Um,
Mhm.
we will let
Yeah, but not till I'm done.
Stacy go first
Um,
and give her take.
First off, I do want to note that I did read that she does have her own money. I know that there were a lot of people calling her a gold digger because she, specifically went to court and wanted half. But I do want to say that she does have her own money. I will say that for me, I thought the situation was hilarious. I thought it was funny. Not diving too much into the ins and outs of it, because maybe it's not. Maybe it's a sad story. You dropped some stuff on me that I didn't know. But I thought it was funny and cute and everything like that. My takeaway from it, though, was this is another one of those topics that people are going to take that is very, very specific. And they're going to run with it and try to apply it to everybody. Now, all of a sudden, the man that has $38.52 in his bank account is going to be talking about, "That's right, let me put my money in my mama name," and his mama probably going to steal it and go get some Chick-fil-A. And then when he really needs that $32.56, he not going to have shit. You see what I'm saying? Because she wanted Chick-fil-A. You understand? So, let's not take this specific situation and try and apply it to everyone. I use the comparison on my page about LeBron James and Savannah. Everybody wants a Savannah, but they ass ain't no LeBron. You know what I'm saying? And this is the same thing. I can't pronounce his name, but you are not him, fellas. You are not him. So don't try it. Make sure that you know what I'm saying. And your mama is not his mama. So don't try it. You know what I'm saying? It almost seemed very underhanded to me also, though, because I feel like to marry someone and feel the need to hide money. And I also read that she wasn't even in his will. You know what I'm saying? So if something happened to her, she wouldn't have gotten anything either. I feel like as a husband, it's just trifling. If you feel like you have to hide money and you're not going to put your wife in your will and you're doing all of this shady stuff, if that's how you feel, then don't get married. She could have just been your baby mama. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you didn't have to have kids at all. But I feel like if you have to go to those extremes, that should not have been an arrangement that it should have ever even happened to begin with. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And even more than that, it's embarrassing that she didn't know. Because I know where every red cent is going in my house. If there was 33 cents missing from my account that Apple took away or something like that, I would notice on my bank account. There is nothing. And matter of fact, I filled out the beneficiary information for my husband, so I know where the money is going. You know, so I just feel like to be a wife and to not know these things is ignorant. It's asinine. It sets a terrible example. I hope she doesn't have daughters. It's horrible. Fucking mess.
Royce, I don't know how you gonna follow that, but go ahead, bro.
City boy with it. 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 Hey, City boy, we up in the city boy, but I love it. I'm here for it. I love it because, man, I'm tired of seeing these dudes work so hard for so long and put in this work and strive and struggle and they just like who said, was it French Montana? No, Rick Ross. My nigga Kobe about to lose 150 mil. Bitch, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. That man, she wasn't putting in them goals, man. And again, me personally, I think the real MVP is the mama because, like you said, what mama ain't gonna take that money and run? I mean, my mama would be. I could trust my mama with that money, but it's sad that we have to, like, this man had to go through these links because another letter we're not talking about is she's 36. She's 36. He's 24. They've been together for 3 years, meaning she met him when he was 21 and she was 33.
Oh, wow.
So we're not talking about that also. And then also another aspect is in Muslim culture, they're both Muslim. It is very rare for a younger man to date or marry a younger woman, an older woman, excuse me. Mm-hmm. So that's another aspect that we're not talking about. So I think it's a win-win on his part because I feel like his mom was like, yo, I think his mom was like, look,
she saw it coming a mile away.
I think his mama saw it and she was like, yo, do this because what 21-year-old has the foresight to think like that?
Yeah.
So I think his mama was like, I think this bitch coming after your money because she sees this.
Yeah.
You think I've seen this? When I was stationed in Japan as a young man, you could always tell the cat who wasn't getting no pussy in the States. And the minute he got his ass to Japan, them Japanese and Filipino women know how to put it on their ass. They're like, I'm gonna get these benefits. So he not used to getting no pussy, and then all of a sudden he getting all this new ass, and now he's like, yo, I'm putting this bitch on my benefits and all this shit, and then boom. I think she saw this as a come up from a young buck who don't know what the fuck you doing, but his mom was like, you ain't doing my son like that, and she was like, boom. So I see it as a win for him. Gold Digger played the game and she lost. She got her own money, true enough. Mm-hmm. I think her net worth is what, like $2 million, and his worth like $24 million. Mm-hmm. I think she was with him for the. I think this is something, again, not everybody's LeBron. I think she saw that it was going to be a good ride, and then he got the allegations, and she was like, "Oh, let me go ahead and get off while his value is at its most high.
This is my out, yeah.
This is my out." And then he was like, "Yo, you trying to leave me? Bet. There's your out. Go ahead and get up out of here. I see you ain't with me for a season. You with me for a reason, not for the seasons." Mm-hmm. So she was playing checkers. He was playing chess.
Yeah.
So I'll say this. So from in reading the different things that I've read about this story since it came out, it did come out that she is a successful actress and model, and she has her own money. My question is, if they met when, like you said, He was 19. She was 33. What you doing with this dude? Like, what is this dude doing for you?
Mm-hmm.
2, you got 2 kids, mom. And being married 3 years, he popped 2 on you real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gonna get child support, but if you got your own money, me personally, if I ever make it big, and I'm a single man, any chick that wasn't with me shooting in the gym, you're signing a prenup. Period. Because you're not gonna get. You shouldn't have access to the money that I made before you,
Mm-hmm.
and you making your own money. Like, we can build stuff. Like, yeah, we'll have stuff together, stuff like that. But why are we doing this extra shit? So I personally feel like, okay, he winning because he dodged that bullet to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still got to pay child support because them his kids. But in hindsight, if mama did say, or mama did see, hey, this may not be the best thing for you. Y'all only been married for 3 years. Now she talking about leaving. Here's my question. Y'all have only been married 3 years. Why the fuck did y'all get married? If you gonna divorce this nigga in 3 years? To me, it sounds like, and this is no knock to Janet Jackson, but didn't Janet Jackson marry a millionaire, a billionaire?
The day
the day after their 5-year anniversary, she filed for divorce and got paid.
Really?
Yeah, it was like she had to be married for a certain amount of time in order to be entitled to so much of his wealth. And then
Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson, yes. Janet Jackson was a major come up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that's right, but
I mean, she made up for the first 2 marriages, though. So I'm just saying, because that's not how the first couple went. So I ain't really that mad.
Yeah, you gotta perfect that biscuit recipe before you get the perfect biscuits.
But see, I feel like, and this is why I always say, women are thousands times more smarter than men, because they have these women will map shit out. Women are literally better at playing the long game than men are. Now, her long game may have been, okay, I'm a get with this young cat. I'm gonna have his kids. I'm gonna stay married to him.
He got like another 8 years in his career, so he's getting $1 million a month or $1 million a year. So there's more money. And then when he
amass this wealth, and then when it's right before it's too late, and I can't do nothing else. Divorce. Now, I will say this: I think one of the reasons she is divorcing him is because of the allegations of sexual misconduct that he has against him. By all means, Queen, like, if you don't want to be attached to that, get out.
Yeah.
But marriage is one of them things, for better or worse, right?
Yeah, and in addition to that, it begs the question: why did you specifically go to court and ask for half? If you don't want to be with him, get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? And what comes of that will come of that. Obviously, you're going to get money for child support, and if you want to go for what do they call it when they give you a
spousal support?
Spousal support and alimony.
Alimony, right? Then that's fine. But she specifically went to court and said, "I want half." That to me spoke volumes. You know what I'm saying? That means that was always in your forethought of, if I ever leave, I'm taking half, and that's just not right. That's just not right.
She may have been trying to play long game, but she didn't know she was playing long game against mama.
Oh, girl, that part. Mama was playing the real long game.
Let me ask you
Mama was like, I got it.
Miss Stacey and Miss Jasmine, let me ask you a question. So I know Miss Stacey said you met your husband when y'all was both struggling college students, when y'all was 20 years old, and y'all been 14 years strong. And Miss Jasmine, I don't know if you're in a relationship or not right now, I'm not gonna ask that, but let me ask you this: a woman meets a man who is of high value, meaning he is worth millions of dollars and has properties, assets. He has a lot of money. He meets a woman and marries that woman. After they get divorced for a certain amount of time, do you think that woman is entitled to spousal support, alimony, and half of his property after he's built his wealth after they've met?
I feel like she is entitled to be comfortable. I don't feel like it should be the type of situation where, oh, well, I can only live this kind of life with him, because as a wife now I have become accustomed to living this particular way. And, to cut that off, especially if it's a woman that doesn't have anything, a lot of these women don't do shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's right to then just divorce him and then she's just out on her ass, maybe living in a $1,000 apartment. I don't think that's right. So I do think, especially if she has children, that lifestyle should continue for a certain amount of time. For the rest of her life, no. Half of anything, no. And that's just how I feel. Something, yes. Everything, no. Because I do feel like as a wife, you pour into your marriage. It is a job. You know what I'm saying? It should be a job that you do willingly, but it still is a job, and there's still time and energy and effort put into that. And if you become a mother in that, now you're adding on to that. So I don't feel like you just become worthless once you're no longer attached to this man. But I also don't feel like it's right. And as a mother, I'm thinking this way because if it were my son, I have to look at that aspect of it. You don't get half a shit. You don't get half of a motherfucking thing, bitch. You know what I'm saying? You get what you get. You can get your little spousal support. You can maintain your car. I'll put you in a nice house, but you're not getting half of a motherfucking thing if you didn't contribute in some way. And let's take it a step further. To be married to a high value man financially, because being high value financially doesn't make you high value, in my opinion. You got to put a little bit more into that.
There you go.
But from a financial perspective, to be with a high value man and you make nothing of it. You don't start a business. You don't put some money away. You don't do shit but sit on your ass and pop out babies, or you're just there and you just exist. To me, I feel like, you dropped the ball, and now that you're no longer with him, you're going to have to eat that. You're going to have to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I would say that for those men that do get a prenup in place, that money is set aside for a certain amount of years. So if you're doing spousal support, it's not forever. It's not till she fucking dies. But maybe for the next 3 years, you support her and you put a house in her name and make sure she has a car to drive your kids around in. You don't just leave her assed out. So that's my take on it.
I will say this. Dr. Dre's ex-wife, the most recent one, literally gets paid in their divorce settlement until she gets until she remarries.
Yeah. She ain't never gonna remarry. She gonna have it on the side.
That alone,
the rest of her life.
Bruh, that alone entices that woman to. Bruh, you could literally see, like and don't get me wrong, I love Oprah, but literally whoever she decides to date from this point on, they the new Oprah and Stedman, because they never get married. Nigga, I'm not marrying you. And fuck up this 3. Bro, it was some asinine number that she was getting in support. Hold on. By the way, Janet Jackson got $500 million for divorcing her ex-husband, by the way.
Damn, Janet?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like
that was fucked up, but City Girls up on that one.
I mean, that was
it was fucked up though.
Yeah, been up, bro. City Girls been up for so long, it's crazy right now, bro.
Right, like,
City Girls has been with it. That's why, it's City Girls been up so bad. Like, I mean, they've been up so good, man. I'm just happy to see one dude win. Like, this is the one rare instance where, and I hate that it's like that, but it's just, I've seen where Again, this is for these 1% like millionaires and stuff like that. But I've just seen where women will get married to a man and they come in with absolutely nothing. Your only job description is shaking your ass on Instagram, and then you marry a man who has tens of millions of dollars in that account, and then you'll be with that man for a couple of years, maybe even a couple months, and then after that, you want half of his worth. I did all this and I did all that. I'm like, I know I'm married now, but I just think, how is a marriage contract? How does it benefit a man? Like, if I marry you and I have to pay you alimony and spousal support, you're incentivized to leave. So, like, I mean, if I can sign a contract where I could quit anything, and then I still make a shit ton of money after I quit, why would I not want to quit and not have to put in the work? Because marriage is work. So why would I not quit the job and then still get the money? That's a win-win. So shit, I would do it too. But it's just, I mean, that's why I'm just happy to see this one dude win, man. Like, I don't know.
So to answer the question, I feel like it depends on the person, depends on the woman. Because going back to, if you get with somebody, if I get with you, I don't care what you got before, you gonna come up because that's who I am. Period. Right? Like, it doesn't matter. I'm bringing something to the table. Now, I ain't bringing millions to the table, but I got some stuff over here, like a little bit over there, and I'm smart. Right? So whatever you gain with me, yeah, we entitled to that together. Right? Because you would not, the idea is that we are leveling up together. You wouldn't have that if it wasn't for me. And it works the opposite direction, right? Like, a man like that can absolutely grow my business and do all this stuff. Like, yeah, that's the whole point. What happened before that? I wasn't there. Like, how am I gonna be entitled to some stuff that I wasn't even present for? Like, I don't understand. Now, on the flip side, in a bunch of my relationships, that's been me. And I have stepped to people real clearly and been like, so, I'm gonna need you to sign this. I mean, no hard feelings, nothing. Like, it's not even real, but people get real testy when stuff start to be over and people get mad. Like, nah, yeah. I'm gonna need you to understand that these properties in my name, not our name, my name.
There's nothing in it. I'll send you a picture.
Now, if we grow a portfolio past my little bit to a big portfolio, then we have a different conversation. Mm-hmm. We also start having details about where did the money to do that investment come from. Right? Because we wouldn't be able to build that portfolio if you didn't have the portfolio I started. Right? There's so much to it that I'm gonna be real mad if you come for that stuff. Talking about we bought this and we bought that. Yeah, who paid the down payment on it? We refinanced my other property so you could do that. Right? And so, as a person who has, again, I ain't got a whole lot of nothing. I really don't. But I got a little more than some people. and as that person, I have been very, very clear about, nah, it ain't happening like that. And so I don't think it's gendered, right? Like, I don't feel any type of way. Whoever it is who's coming to the table with whatever, if you weren't there in the beginning, then, like, you're entitled to marital growth. Whatever happened as a product of the marriage. I do feel differently when people have children, right? Going back to the concept of, so now that you're not with her, like, your kids, y'all just asked out. Like, that's wrong. Right. That's outright wrong. And a lot of people feel that way, especially if they aren't the person initiating the divorce. Mm-hmm. Right. And so that's when it starts to be a little bit, like, questionable. And, like, what are you really doing? You should gladly hand this woman who is taking care of your children so you can go make whatever you gonna make.
Yeah.
Whatever she needs to take care of your kids. And part of making sure she's good is you making sure your kids are good is making sure she's good. If she gotta be worried about some stuff, she ain't able to take care of your kids to the best of her ability. And why would you want her to struggle just because you have the power to do that? That's a different conversation.
I'm an advocate of prenups. and marital agreements, because I feel like that's your chance to negotiate for yourself just in case. Because the reality of it is, when you're mad at somebody or somebody has done something against you, people think differently than when you're in love, right? So I fully support people getting a prenup, whether it's a man or a woman. I guess
Marriage is love, divorce is a
Janet Jackson,
business.
huh?
Marriage is love, divorce is a business.
It is.
Marriage is a
But when
business.
you're coming in with that much money, with a large financial bulk, I feel like you have to think like that. You have to bring that into the situation, or you'll end up like Janet Jackson, ex-husband, asked out, and really that prenup must have just been hurt, huh?
Hurt. He hurt.
But my thing is, if that it was in the prenup, why did you do that to yourself? Why would you be that generous in the prenup to where she could take half or $500 million after year 5? That's insane.
I feel like he was planning on being terrible and didn't think she was gonna make it.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's the plan. Like, I'm gonna be the worst.
Kim did it to Kanye. Kim had an agreement with Kanye to where every year of marriage she got more money, and that's just in spousal support. We're not even talking about all those kids they have.
That wasn't Kim.
It was Kim.
That was Chris.
Too. Chloe did it too. Who?
That was Chris. That was the mama.
Oh, the mama.
Like
oh yeah.
Whenever you talk about Kardashians, yeah, the daughters like reap the benefit of that shit. Mm-hmm. But the real mastermind,
yeah,
is the mama.
And she made sure that they secured the bag.
Right there.
Yeah, she made sure they secured the bag. The only marriage that Kim didn't make money off of was the one that was for like 2 weeks or 30 days or however long she married that boy.
Like that. Yeah.
72 days. And her first one too. One too.
It was crazy.
Before she was famous.
But just real quick, Herc. I'm gonna stop using the quotations. I'm sorry.
It's crazy. We always called him Herc. But I didn't even know his real name for the longest time. Like for a whole semester, I didn't know his name. I was like, yo, Big Herc. I swear to God, I was like, yo, Big Herc.
Because we're females, we got the government name. But
I had to tell y'all the real name.
Yeah,
now y'all won't stop using it.
And me personally, I don't even accept nicknames. If somebody comes to me, even now, with a nickname, I'm gonna say, "What's your real name?" That's what I'm gonna call you. But even the sometimes I would say specifically men set themselves up, because even in the Kim Kardashian situation where he was married for 40 days or something, his family wasn't even invited to the wedding. So it's like, why would you even marry her? Like, you set yourself up. Men do stuff like that all the time. It doesn't make sense.
Because we be in love and stupid.
Well, that's the thing. That's like when we talk about, like, it depends on the woman, right? Like, some of these people get real mad and forget who they married when the loving that's over, right? Because they the same person. So you're like, she can't get half. Well, yeah, but she wasn't doing shit before y'all got married. Like, what you mean? What you mad about? Like,
yeah.
Well,
you told somebody who isn't. So going back to the whole conversation of like, yeah, if you've been in a marriage with somebody for this long and they have funds or whatever the case is, and you didn't do something with those funds, shame on you, boo boo. Well, why you even marry somebody who ain't gonna do it? Right? You knew she was gonna spend your money and not add to your money. Mm-hmm. If that's, you need to be looking for the add to your money women and not the spend your money women. If y'all spent y'all dating time dressing her up and buying her stuff, and she's steady having her hand out and think it's cute to go on a trip to the mall and go on a shopping spree, then you set yourself up. You played yourself.
Yeah.
She ain't gonna change. She ain't gonna get smarter.
Nope.
Ain't nobody didn't marry somebody with a lot of money and went back to college.
Yep.
There may be some out there, but we don't know their names because they smart. These bitches being quiet. They're the ones that was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make some of this. They ain't gotta worry about no damn divorce settlement because they took care of it while they were still married. We ain't heard about them because the shit's in their name.
So, Dr. Dre's ex-wife, real quick, got $100 million in their divorce. she had to move out the house, but she got the Rolls Royce, a Range Rover, a Escalade limousine, and a Spider, and she got to keep all her jewelry. She winning because she can, bruh. She can, bruh. So and to go
She
back,
also had to be married to Dr. Dre. Shit, like
that's not a bad thing all the time. Like, you know,
so 75% of it. No, pay me what you owe me.
Now, I will say this. I mean, like I know we've seen the Lifetime movies, and you know, like he was beating the shit out of the women.
Mm-hmm.
Alleged, like I wasn't there, so I can't say he did it. But you know, the movie say he he whooped some people ass.
Yeah.
You know, so. But here's the thing: if you're with somebody and they are abusive. They were married for 24 years. You mean to tell me you let this man beat your ass for 24 years?
It happens.
Really?
Especially with powerful men. It happens a lot with powerful men. You know what I'm saying? They get away with a lot.
Dr. Dre is a great example of that, right? Because we know what happened to his ex.
Mm-hmm.
There's something in my heart. It's written about that fool, right? For a reason.
Yeah.
Somebody got me hooked on you. Yeah, it is. And she walked away.
That right hook got a hook.
And I haven't even seen the documentary of I think it was Michelet with the high voice that was talking about. Yeah. But I do believe it just because there were other accounts from even men that would talk about witnessing it. So I do believe that he's abusive. So, you know.
So I'll say this. He could be he could not be, I don't know. Now, the narrative that I want to spin is, let's just say, and I'll try to tie it together. So Dr. Dre has a history of being abusive. Mm-hmm. Recently, Jonathan Majors was in the news.
Cap, go ahead.
For choking that white woman.
Cap, go ahead.
Don't put them in the same category. That ain't right.
Cap, go ahead.
All I'm saying is, they said he beat the woman ass. That's all I'm saying. Chris Brown beat the shit out of Rihanna.
He was 17 years old, man. Rihanna whooped him first. Rihanna put hands on that man first.
I don't condone him whooping her ass the way that he did, but I also want to note that prior to that, she did spit in his face and beat his ass until while they were in that car. So I just want to throw that out there.
He got his lick back. He was just more powerful.
No, he got his lick back and he kept licking. That's the.
It was expensive, but she hit him first.
I get all that.
Just say it.
But let's just say it comes out that Dr. Dre didn't do none of those things. Mm-hmm. It came out Jonathan Majors didn't really choke that woman.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Brown did what he did, but that was 15, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When do we forgive these celebrities for the mistakes that they made when they were younger?
Why do we think we can?
That's another race issue too, because I feel like Black men aren't forgiven for their past, but white men are, because
there you go.
So let me piggyback off that real quick. White men aren't even held accountable. Okay, they don't even have anything to be forgiven for, because nobody really holds them accountable until they want to turn 88, and then now you want to lock this nigga up, but you let him run rampant for fucking 70 years. So you can't even compare the black-white thing when it comes down to the mistakes, because ours will always be put on the spotlight 10 times more than any other, culture.
Yeah, it's true. Like with the whole Jonathan Majors situation, bro, I remember when it happened, me and my homegirl was on Facebook, and the news article posted, she was like, I hope this ain't true. I said, Dip, I'm not going to say her name. I said, D. I said, let's just wait, because this man is in two $500 million movies out at the same time. He is the hottest actor in Hollywood right now with a GQ article. I said, I guarantee what happened was it's his girlfriend. She saw his phone, saw that he had some sneaky links, and then went through his shit. And then she was like, okay, bet. You want to make me look bad and you want to do this to me. I said, you know what? I can't physically beat you up. But I can have you at this level. Can't nobody have you. So what am I going to do? Allegation.
And she recanted.
She did. She recanted the whole situation. Mm-hmm. What happened was, I guarantee what happened was that she went through his phone, saw some shit. She saw some shit that she wasn't supposed to see. Just like Drake said, she going to be upset if she keeps scrolling to the left.
Right.
She scrolled to the left. She saw some shit she didn't want to see. And then she confronted him. He was like, mind your business. You happy? Yeah. Stay in your place. He said, hoes got to stay in their place and know your place, hoe. That's what he told her. And then she got upset at that. And then she was like, well, fuck it. If I can have you this successful, can't nobody have you. And she tried to ruin that man. That's what I think happened.
Fellas, all that simply means is, one, pick your mate better. 2, stop dating white women. And that is in no way, shape, fashion, or form to my white sisters. I love y'all. Like I do. But stop dating white women. Get you a black woman because had this woman had he had a black girlfriend, I feel like that this whole situation would have been a whole lot different.
Probably.
One, we wouldn't even know about the shit.
Yeah, because nobody would give a fuck.
Nobody would give a fuck. That's one. 2, she would already know what the fuck this nigga was doing before he was doing it. Because black women y'all got superpowers and y'all sneaky as fuck.
She would have got her lick back. She ain't got to do that to get her lick back.
That part.
Exactly. So, stop dating white women.
I also want to just note that I think that, at least for me, I never believe abuse allegations when it comes to black men immediately.
Thank God. Finally, a woman says it. Fucking finally. Oh my God.
Black men are lied on more than any race of men that exist on this earth. And as a black woman specifically, even when it comes down to other black women, because there are laws and rules put into place to where there doesn't even have to be a burden of proof for a man to be arrested for an allegation of domestic violence. If I call the police right now and say you hit me, it doesn't even have to be baseless. They're going to arrest you. And so that idea has been weaponized. The abuse thing has been weaponized. And, it's such a complex situation because, again, the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation, I don't condone men hitting women, but in that situation, I don't feel like she was a victim. I felt like they fought and it was what it was. But because she's a woman, it became a bigger issue. He had scratches and black eyes and bruises just like she did. She was throwing haymakers too. Do I condone him hitting? No. But the spitting part of it is what triggered me to be like, I would have slapped the shit out of that bitch too. You know what I'm saying? But again, the Jonathan Majors thing, I was so disappointed by how a large majority of our community just jumped on that bandwagon and slamming this man. And, I'm sure that a lot of women who have experienced abuse and domestic violence instantly were triggered and, jumped on the bandwagon as well. But sometimes as a community, we just have to wait. Let the facts come out. Let's see what happens before we immediately think that this man was abusive and did something wrong. And even though he hasn't been proven innocent yet, I think that it's still a pending thing. I don't believe that he touched that woman in any way, shape, or form.
It's crazy, bro. Like, Jonathan Majors lost more for allegations than Dana White did for actual video evidence.
Yeah, literally.
Like, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. Like, it's
literally.
You will see, again, it goes back to how black men are treated when it comes to, I'm not trying to make this a race, podcast today, but it's just the way that black men are treated, because I'm not saying some black men out there aren't fucked up, because R. Kelly is a piece of shit. R. Kelly is a huge piece of shit.
He's evil.
So is Elvis. Elvis walked around with a harem of young girls, married a 14-year-old. Woody Allen married his stepdaughter. Harvey
Wow, that's just
Weinstein.
sick. And what's crazy is I have never heard these things, and that's what's crazy.
I know, like so I now don't get me wrong. Do I condone what R. Kelly did to these women?
Not at all.
Fuck no.
Fuck R. Kelly.
But now I will say fuck R. Kelly when it comes to these young girls.
Yes.
I will not say fuck R. Kelly when it comes to the music. I'm just one of the people that can kind of.
You know what though?
I haven't
been able to
I can
internalize his music the same since all of this. Like I don't feel it the same. Like instantly when I hear his music, I think about what he's done. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but I think about the fact that the nigga got away with it twice and kept doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's my take on R. Kelly, and we kind of got into it last week, but here's my take on Kelly, R. Kelly. Can I separate the man from the music? Yes. Did he do some fucked up shit to women that he will rot in jail for the rest of his life for? Yes. Does he deserve to be there? Fuck yes. Mm-hmm. The music side of R. Kelly, I kind of just
it's hard because he's
to me it's just timeless. But what I will say is R. Kelly and Jay-Z did a whole album called "The Best of Both Worlds," and on that album, they had a song called "Not Guilty."
I remember that. Yeah.
Kells got away with fucking video proof. Like everybody, a lot of people saw the fucking sex tape.
Yeah.
At that point, whoever was around Kel should have said, "Look, sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Don't do shit else because God gave you a chance, a second chance to get up to do whatever the fuck it is that you're doing with this music. Stop."
Yeah.
R. Kelly, biggest downfall was he thought because his name was Robert Kelly, he was gonna get off like a white dude.
Right.
And he was fucking untouchable.
Yeah.
That's why R. Kelly's locked up now, because he fucking thought he was untouchable and they would never come after him again.
Yeah.
But when you go against the federal government and they lose, oh nigga.
Yo, they're like, just waiting for you to mess up.
They just wait. Nigga, if you sneeze the wrong way, oh, it's a wrap for your ass. Mm-hmm. And that is R. Kelly's biggest, thing. Like he did, like the shit is fucked up. Like all the shit he did, all fucked up. You should have not done it in the first place. Mm-hmm. But you continue to do this shit because you felt like you were fucking untouchable, and you felt you were a middle-aged white man, and you were in this industry that you were fucking untouchable. Yeah. And them niggas showed
and they touched his ass.
Here's the thing though, like your first question was when do we feel like we can forget? And my original response was, why do we feel like we have that power, right? So celebrity has taken this interesting role, right, where we assume that because people are good at something that and we pay them for whatever skill they have, we are entitled to their lives. We're entitled to, deciding whether or not, like sticking our nose in places that it doesn't belong. The people who need to worry about forgiving them are the people who were victimized. Right? Like this idea that, I'll decide when we forget. Like it's such a weird and creepy obsession that we have with people who, again, it's like because they are of extraordinary talent, we're like, great, we're gonna stick our claws in. Like there's almost this weird obsession, jealousy, waiting with for strangers. You to fall. Right.
We don't know them
at all, and literally, and the person who said it escapes me, and it might even been Jay-Z. Like, what the fuck you worried about? Like broke people, like millionaires don't think about what broke niggas doing. Mm-hmm. So broke niggas shouldn't care about what millionaires are doing.
Yeah.
Like we in two different tax brackets. Two different tax brackets. My problems ain't the same problems somebody like Chris Brown, Jay-Z, well, maybe R. Kelly, and definitely not R. Kelly now. But we ain't got the same type of problems.
Right.
Like, R. Kelly got to worry about keeping a motherfucker off him for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he got to worry about that prison talent show that they got. Jay-Z got to worry about, I woke up this morning, which private jet am I going to fly to, go sign this deal?
Right.
I got to worry about, do I really want to go to fucking work tomorrow?
Right.
Like, we are not the same. So, it's cool to talk about, but I can't compare myself or, who am I to say, oh, well, because, Jay-Z did this or said this, I'm going to cancel Jay-Z. They don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Niggas still listen to Jay-Z.
And we'll continue to.
And
It's like one day,
with a smile on their face.
Yeah.
It's like one day we turned what was originally intended to be like social justice action against individual people.
Yeah.
Right? Like we were boycotting and, all of that stuff was intended to be kind of a, group of people taking a stand against an establishment. And we have turned individual people into these establishments. We've turned celebrity into an establishment.
Yes.
And the idea that like, oh, okay, I'm going to cancel you because on behalf of all women, on behalf of all these people, like what? Like, first of all, you weren't there. And second of all, let's not even talk about the justice system and whether it's true or not and all the stuff that comes along with it. And then you start taking into account race and, it's so deep embedded that like when stuff comes out, I just kind of take a stance where I'm just like, some of that is none of my business. Am I going to continue to view or watch or observe or whatever the case is? I will tell you right now, I still watch The Cosby Show. I have my child watching The Cosby Show. Do I think he did it? Absolutely. So do. But what I also think...
Bill Cosby and Heathcliff Huxtable, two different people to me.
Right? So... I can't ignore the person that he has become and added to our society because of these allegations. I just can't. Yeah. He did some great things. He's like everybody else. He just has this extraordinary talent, right? And so I've done some bad things, maybe not to the magnitude, but who are we really to say what magnitude it is? Right. There are victims of these crimes, and the victims get to determine like when forgiveness happens. And all that stuff. The justice system, whatever you feel about it, people go through a court process, blah, 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 blah. It's not perfect. It's failed Black folks, like all the things that come along with it. But at the end of the day, I Believe I Can Fly not too long ago. And I am not an art, like I only like when I hear one of the like a nasty R. Kelly song come on, I'd be like, ooh, it was with a child. Like I can't do it. Right? Ignition used to be my shit. It used to be my shit. I can't listen to Ignition because I'd be like, ooh, that's nasty. Right? Like, ooh, I'm gonna change the station. I Believe I Can Fly came on and I had a moment because if you think about the significance of that song at the time, right? And all like the awards that came with it, the recognition, the film, right? That it was the soundtrack for like. That's a huge deal. You can't take that away because it was. When we don't talk about being for the culture, that's some shit that's for the culture.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Ignition, not so much. And so I can rock with that. I can rock with that, and I can't take that away, right? Like, if I believe I can fly, come on the radio, I'm gonna listen to it. I just am.
I am rather fond of. So, I've seen all type of memes. If you hear the words "the same girl,"
say that again.
If you listen to if you hear "Same Girl" by R. Kelly and Usher,
right?
Shouldn't Usher be in this talk too? Because they were talking to the same girl, although they were twins. I'm not, but I can certain songs. I'll be like, Was he really
You
talking
think about it differently.
like you? I mean, you do think
You
about
have
it
to.
differently. Like, was he talking about a kid in this song?
He
Yeah,
wrote
he's
everything but a
Like
number.
like were you like when you hear sex in the kitchen?
Mm-hmm.
Is he talking about a woman, or is he talking about
Or
a
trapped in the
teenage girl?
closet.
You get trapped in the closet, yeah.
Is he referencing a boyfriend or a father of an underage girl?
Or is he actually talking about that girl that he has trapped in the closet? Because remember,
Right, because
That part.
it's all different now. So, I mean, I've separated the man from the music, but they're just certain. Now, I will say, like I said last week, if you listen to the same girl remix, T-Pain killed that shit. Like, I will play it very loud, numerous times. Also, if you hear "I'm a Flirt" the remix with T-Pain, kills it. So you just, I don't know. Some people you can kind of separate the man from music, and if we're being honest, some of our counterparts that are fighters of the sun, they do that shit regularly. So y'all know where I live. There are folks that and we'll say it like this. There are folks that travel hundreds of thousands of miles to go to Graceland. And like Roy said earlier, Elvis married a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He did. Elvis
he married a 14-year-old kid. But folks, oh well, I love Elvis. Elvis was a pedophile. But y'all still love him. Never got locked up.
Never. They don't say a bad word about him, even though Elvis is.
Bro, if you went to Graceland right now and said anything against Elvis, I guarantee folks will be ready to fight you.
Yeah. Even though Elvis is the biggest culture vulture of all time, Elvis is only famous because he copied black people. Elvis he sings like a black man. Like, God, I just watched that. He pretty much stole his whole style from a black man. His most famous song is written by wasn't it Big Mama? I can't remember the name. Yeah, exactly.
I did know those things. I did know that he stole a lot of his music, his style, everything was just stolen. So I never had any respect for Elvis. I couldn't tell you an Elvis song because I never gave a fuck. But I do know that the white folks love him. And and like you said, I've never heard anything negative about him.
And you never will.
And you never will. But again, that plays into that stigma of black men versus the world.
Yep.
Man, so we're gonna go to our last break. There's one more thing we gotta talk about before we get up out of here. So man, if y'all been rocking this long, you might as well finish. But the conversation is good. We'll be right back with more Herc's World. Welcome back to Herc's World. I'm none other than your girlfriend's favorite podcast host, The Big Herc. And man, we are talking. We just got done talking about the soccer player and his soon-to-be ex-wife, and ventured off into Elvis and R. Kelly and Chris Brown and Dr. Dre and all them other good people. So the last thing that I want to talk about before we get up out of here, is having a conversation with an individual. And basically, the conversation said, well, hey, so-and-so sounds real ghetto. As far as how they sound on this particular podcast, and I said no. It's a difference between being ghetto and ratchet. In my opinion, she got ratchet tendencies. I won't tell y'all who it is, just for purposes. But is there a difference between being ghetto and ratchet? In my opinion, being ratchet is, man, you like to do bald head hoe shit with your friends, but you take care of business. You go to work every day. You pay your bills on time. You know, you got your degrees. You run you take care of your husband, your spouse, whatever your life partner. But you like to do hard head hosting with your friends on the weekend sometimes. Being ghetto, in my opinion, is you out here 30, 35, still fighting on the street over a nigga that really don't want you. You got 3, 4 kids by 4 different niggas. And and it's no knock to anybody on Section 8, but you getting, food stamps, and you selling them food stamps to go pop bottles at the club, and you got 30-inch weave that, you don't really keep done. But that's just me. And that's no knock to anybody. Like, if you consider yourself ghetto, I'm not, by all means, do your thing, queen. But I feel like there is a difference between being ghetto and ratchet. What do y'all think?
Okay, I guess I'll go. I wanted to initially go last because I felt like my perspective was going to be completely different than everybody else. So if anybody else wants to go,
I can see. I never looked at it as ratchet. I say I prefer the word hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can, like, I'm professional, but I still do hood shit with my boys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can walk down the street holding my wife's hand and be good, and then somebody say something, and then I can go hood real quick. Like, I could beat your motherfucking ass. Right. If it leads to that. Like, I'm gonna choose to walk away from anything. Ghetto is what I'm not. Like, I'm not ghetto. I was raised in the ghetto, but I'm not ghetto. Like, they say you can take somebody out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of them. That's what I'm not. Right. Like, I can eat Vienna sausages, but I can also go get me $100 tomahawk steak if I need to. Not Yo Gotti, but a Money Bag Yo restaurant. So I don't know. So I don't like the word ratchet, because when I hear ratchet, I think it's a super derogatory term. So I think ratchet is worse than ghetto. So I say hood as opposed to ratchet. But yeah, I'm hood, but I'm not ratchet or ghetto. So that's how I look at it.
Okay. What about you, Jess? Is there?
I say fuck all them words. Every last one of them. Fuck you and anything you gonna call me. You and your mama and wherever the hell y'all came from.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Okay.
How you really feel?
Right.
I don't like ghetto because I can't stand the word ghetto, because ghetto is a fucking place. There's a place that black people were placed.
Yeah.
Or poor people were placed. So for a lot of people be like, but my family, them too. Poor people were placed there. It's a function of something. It's the way people behave when they're placed in a specific situation, and specifically when you are challenging their ability to take care of themselves. Fuck that shit.
Didn't the word ghetto start with Jewish people? Like, weren't they placed in the ghetto after concentration camps or something like that?
It didn't become ghetto though until black people.
Oh, okay.
Picture.
But we got attached to it, then it became a ghetto.
That is where, and
somewhere along the way it became synonymous with us. Fuck that shit.
And it still is.
A ghetto is a ghetto.
It's a place.
By definition, right? It's a place where people in poverty, it's subsidized housing, it's government sponsored housing, and all of the things that come along with that. How we didn't turn behaviors turned it into a descriptor of behaviors is crazy.
But I feel like that's what white people did, and that's 100%.
That's why I don't want to hear no shit about it.
Well, that's where my perspective was coming from. I felt like when I really sat and thought about it, when Herc sent me the list. Yeah, he gonna text me after this and be like, "Yo, nigga," but
and I'm gonna be like, "I'm gonna call you what I want to call you whenever I want to call
you."
And I'm gonna call you ratchet. Go ahead.
Don't do that shit.
And ratchet is fine. Ghetto is not.
But no, when I really thought about it, I felt like, ghetto is a term that white people came up with to describe poor black behaviors, how poor black people act. essentially, I want to say just Black behaviors. And when you think about the word ghetto and think about how they've attached it to everything that we do, even if you're not from the hood or you're not actually ghetto, white people and the world really have attached that to anything Black. So if I got pink hair, I'm ghetto. But if this white bitch, let's say Kylie Jenner does it, then it's a trend. It's cool. It's not ghetto. You know what I'm saying? If I have long nails with designs on it, it's ghetto. But if some white girl does it, it's trendy. You know what I'm saying? If I have box braids, it's too Black, it's ghetto. But if this white bitch has it, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they done came up with a new term for it. And now that's the shit. It's a new style. So I don't like the word ghetto. I feel like ghetto doesn't exist. Ghetto is just a derogatory term for Black behavior. You know, she's too loud. She's boisterous. She's obnoxious. That's ghetto. No, I'm just Black. You know what I'm saying? So the whole ghetto thing, ugh. But as far as ratchet is concerned, and just me personally, when I hear that term, I think gutter. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking somebody is doing something that is just yucky. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking having sex on a club bathroom floor type shit. When I think about ratchet, that's what I think about. And it could be because of where I'm from, who I've been around, you know, to why I attach it to that way. But when I think ratchet, I think, you know, trifling. Just trifling, gutter. Why would you do that? You have no dignity for yourself. You have no, you know, respect for yourself type of shit. You know, if I'm gonna say, oh, I'm about to go do ratchet things with my friends, instantly I'm thinking it's gonna be some fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, you about to do some fuck shit. And whether we want to acknowledge that it's some fuck shit, we might be embarrassed by it the next day. It's some fuck shit. It's some shit you don't want to tell somebody about. You know what I'm saying? Outside of the people that was there. It's some shit that you would be embarrassed about 10 years later. You know what I'm saying? It just, you know, they have this Freaknik video going around. Whomever was doing ratchet shit on those videos about to be real embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? That like, I just look, you know, it'll to me, ratchet shit will come back and haunt you.
I swear to God, I better not see my mama. I swear to God, I better not see my mama and my auntie on that damn video. I swear to God, I'm gonna slap the shit out of both of them.
No, but see, here's the thing. Now, I went and I could only speak for me and Stacy. I went to an HBCU. The shit that happened in Freaknik probably ain't no worse than the shit that happened in the club, and the accusers walking around picking bitches up, putting their coochie in their face on the bed anyway.
Listen, that's why I said I hope they don't do a documentary on the Rose Supper Club. But
it's going down. Bro, do you know how many females I've seen picked up in the...
Yeah.
But
Freaknik is probably no worse than anything that you've done on a Thursday or a Saturday night in the club in college.
To be honest, I don't care. I don't want to see it on. I don't want them to make a documentary about it. I feel like if people want to be ratchet, I've had a ratchet moment where I did some gutter shit. You know, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want that. I don't want to see that shit on camera in 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just annoyed. Why are you coming out with a documentary? You know?
I think it's y'all hit on some fire ass points right there. I think me personally. Well, first I'm gonna say this real quick. Have you ever noticed how like everything is ghetto until it becomes trendy by a white person? Like,
absolutely.
Have you ever noticed how? Damn, I forgot who said it. They said everybody want to be Black until it's time to be Black. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get rich and famous and successful off of being Black. Like what's a little dumbass little white girl name? Bad Baby.
Bad Bobby.
Bad Baby, Woe Vicky, all them little dumb motherfuckers. Like you can be a white boy from the suburbs and make a career off of pretending to be hood. So that's one point. But have you ever noticed how, like, right when it's like almost like a Black Empower movement coming, like when we finally getting getting some footing, getting traction going on. It's something that they put out there. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's something that they put out there to kind of put us back a little bit. Like, have you ever, like the Freaknik documentary was coming out now, and this is, I bullshit you not. Freaknik was, they did some wild shit, but it's not. It's the same thing that white people do on spring breaks in Daytona Beach.
Absolutely, girls gone wild.
Like, it's girl. I can promise you right now. If you like, I can promise you right now. I live in Columbia, but I can guarantee you, Freaknik ain't shit compared to what they doing in the beach of Spain right now.
They was damn near naked. They was showing titties and fucking and doing all kinds of shit. I remember those videos. I remember clips of it.
There are white women,
and they were underage too.
There are white women right now getting flown out to Dubai to get shit in their mouth right now. That's the worst thing ever. I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
Wait a minute.
Flag on the plate. Whoa.
And Dubai.
Whoa, wait a goddamn minute.
Wow, that turned my stomach.
No, that's extreme. But I'm being real. Like, they doing a whole documentary about how, look at these ghetto ass ass niggas doing this shit. Yeah. We would never do this shit. Well, like, if you go to Ibiza, Spain right now, I promise you now, it's gonna be some millionaires on some yachts, fucking some 16-year-old white girls. Like, we having the time of our lives. I've been in parties and seen motherfuckers doing 8 lines of cocaine and having the time of their life. Like, I've seen shit like that happen.
Yeah,
I've seen white dudes do this shit.
And I don't feel like, and I'm not trying to get off topic, but I feel like it's really hard for Black people specifically to understand that concept when they haven't been in white spaces. And for someone that's been in white spaces and seen how other cultures conduct themselves, I always get super defensive when people rag down on Black people for doing things that I know everybody does. I know I'm going to bring this up, and this is very, very off topic, but my husband is a football coach, so I'm in the world of football. There was a documentary that came out on Netflix about Valdosta football team. And it was just chronicling they're a big championship type team here in Georgia. It was following the kids. And I just want to note that they were fucking, they were underage drinking, they were doing drugs. And this was all, they were partying. This was all on camera. And it was literally on fucking Netflix. And nobody batted an eye. I'm sitting up here thinking, they're talking about friends of theirs being drunk and being fucked up and stumbling. This is on camera. And these are 14, 15, 16-year-old guys and girls. You understand what I'm saying? And nobody batted an eye. And he and I were just flabbergasted at the fact that, that this was on freaking Netflix. Millions of people saw it, and nobody said anything about these kids underage drinking, doing drugs, or fucking. You know what I'm saying? But if that had have been Black kids, even if they were over 21, our community would have been ragged down on tremendously. And I'm just tired of shit like that happening. And there's always some Black person that's steamrolling it being used. And in this situation is JD. Oh, I want to shed light on Freaknik. But I saw a video on Facebook the other day of Kanye holding a camera, and there was a Black girl on her knees shaking her ass. And I felt disrespected. I was offended. Because if this is supposed to be shedding a light on Atlanta culture, why is that? This woman is probably 50. You know what I'm saying? And now she's on camera and in the most derogatory way, just being a bunch of niggas around, Kanye holding a camera to her ass crack, and she's shaking her ass. You see what I'm saying? Like, why is that being put on TV? Nobody gives a fuck. But I guarantee you that if they did some shit like that for Girls Gone Wild, those white bitches would sue their ass so bad, there's no way that documentary would even get any traction, because those white folks will be on their head. But it's always easy breezy when it comes down to Black people being, put on the spotlight and derogatory things and whatnot. It's disgusting. And I'm not watching that bullshit. Because honestly, I don't even give a fuck. Why do I want to see some old ass people on camera in the fucking 90s? I don't want to see that shit. I don't give a fuck.
So I'm gonna watch it just so I can say I watched it.
Yeah,
Um, I'm gonna watch it for research purposes for the
I
podcast.
know. And hold an
That's
episode about it.
and I'm gonna talk about it. Like, so if your mama or daddy and your auntie was on Freaknik, come on, and, let's talk about it. How you feel? But no, but no, I do feel like the exploitation of black people is something that
For
is
sport.
it is. Jazz, I know you. I think you want to say something because you came off mute. What's up?
I just going back to like the concept of like ghetto and ratchet and what does that all mean, right? Like we are constantly rebranding ourselves because every time we come up with something or every time we get labeled and create there's these images created of us that always turn things that originated with us that may have been fun or funny or whatever that we take pride in or that it's cultural, right? And when I say culture, I'm talking about Black American culture specifically, right? Um, and then it's turned into something else because like when I hear ratchet, right, like I couldn't even tell you where ratchet came from. Like I just started saying it. Like it was just one of the things, right? But now we didn't turn it into like ratchet, right? Like all these things and like what it comes back to for me is like Black politics of respectability. You have to be a certain way around them, but you can be a certain way around your own, right? And so these two ways to be, right? The act this way and they'll think you're a good one. Like I reject all things that involve code switching. I reject all things that involve oh, you're a good Negro, right? Because that is what people are using those words to do, is to separate and say, oh, you're deserving of this and you're not. You're the kind of person that doesn't comply with the officer, right? Like this is so far rooted in how we are separated and treated. Oh, you've got a degree, right? Like you speak well, right? Like I've heard it all. I've been on both sides of it, right? The way I dress makes a difference. Like all the things that are created when we're just being. We're just being. And there are some ways where we have tried to quote unquote reclaim it, right? You almost can't have a conversation about ghetto and ratchet without having a conversation about nigga, right? Because it's the same concept. We're using these words as descriptors, right? And part of it is this fight within ourselves to be like, well, what is our culture? What does that look like? What does that mean? What am I comfortable with? And the idea that it's not a monolith. Like we all have these different experiences. It's even very hard for me to point to like what makes Black culture Black culture. And there's things that we have shared laughs about. Like you go to a comedy show and people start talking about, certain things. And you mentioned Vienna sausages, right? Like potted meat and all the things grandma used to have just in case you got hungry. Like those are like, what does that look like and where does that come from? But at the same time, there's some Black people who lived in the Northeast who, whose parents were going to college in the early 1900s, right? Like, what does it mean to be Black? And all those words are ways that we're trying to define Blackness, where it's like, oh, I'm educated, but I like to dance to Juvenile when it come on, right? Like that's what this stuff has become. And it's like, why can't we just be people? Why can't we just live? I will definitely back that ass up.
And
I do have a master's degree. Like, fuck you.
Fuck that shit. And back that ass up with the master's degree.
Thank you.
But we'll always be searching for that because we don't have an identity as a whole. And so we'll always be grappling for a sense of identity in some way. And it'll always be a little bit tainted because, of where we are. We are Black Americans. We're not African. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe, I don't know. Y'all look like Black Americans, but
I'm Black American. I'm not flashing. I'm Black.
We're from here, and that in itself is an identity. But we've lost so much that I feel like we'll be doing that forever. So either we're going to do, like you said, Jasmine, and just reject all labels and just exist and be our genuine, authentic selves, no matter how that looks, or we're going to continue to label.
So my question before, like, that was perfectly well said by both you and ladies. Like, I really appreciate all that. But I honestly feel like both of y'all would fail the juvenile test.
Cap.
Fuck you.
On my show, I'm just saying y'all would. I feel like y'all just admitted to that y'all would fail the juvenile test. I just wanted to reiterate that fact.
That's strike 3 for you for today.
Marvin,
what did I
You
do?
done came at me quite a few times, and now I'm failing the juvenile. You know what?
tried it.
You'll never know.
I'm good. I'm good over here, bro. They cool with me.
Listen, I got my husband in the other room.
That don't mean
You know I don't.
That don't mean
I
you
just did it.
Exactly. See that. See,
I hit me a little back that. But here's the thing. You know I'm on the show and ain't got my video on because I'm sick, and I came on the show. You don't do me.
all I'm saying is,
Can you come on the show at what? What was it? Talking about an hour and 40 minutes before. An hour and 40 minutes.
I mean,
I'm over here on antibiotics. I'm sick, and you here come at me again. I'm gonna find my way to Memphis. Stop playing with me.
And you know my husband. I can't be backing it up on no camera unless he's holding the camera.
He can hold the camera. Like, we're not saying don't do it, and we're not saying don't do it. We're just saying I know.
You said I can't do it.
All I'm saying is, if Back That Ass Up plays, y'all gonna move. That's all I said.
That's not what you said, but I'm glad you
That's
corrected
not what it sounded like you were trying to say, but okay, I'm gonna let it ride.
All I'm insinuating, that's what he says, what it is if Back That Ass Up played, y'all would move. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm trying to say. Just not on camera, because I'm gonna check for one before I'm gonna be like, oh, and I'm gonna look around like, who trying to, y'all ain't gonna get me.
Look, it's nothing wrong with moving a little bit to back that ass up. Do you, queen? By all means.
And will.
Just know that, I know that y'all gonna fail that test every time.
You made it seem like it was the other way around.
No. No, and in no way, shape, fashion, form was that to ever to disrespect y'all. Like, I just know that y'all are sophisticated ratchet.
You got to take a strike away, Miss Jasmine. He wasn't disrespecting you there.
Right.
I will take that strike away. Okay, I will take everything that came with it. I thought you were saying the opposite, which is that I would not dance to said song.
You were most definitely. And this is how I know you were most definitely. You are my friend. You've been my friend for longer than 5 years. So I know you would move if Back That Ass Up came on. Same thing for Stacey. I know she will move. Now, would she move very, very slowly? Because there's a giant individual that may knock her head between the washer and dryer. I'm not saying he gonna do that, but that's a big dude. I don't want them problems. But she would move. A lot of sophisticated, educated Black women.
It's a classic.
I resist Back That Ass Up.
It's a classic.
It is.
It is a classic, yeah.
So, but no, I'm just saying,
I stand corrected.
Good. And stop telling folks I got you at the last minute. They ain't have to know that. It just so happened that another guest backed out, and we needed.
If it had been if you hadn't been on strike 3, I would have never said anything.
Well, now they know, and now we ain't, and we don't edit shit out. So
and now you only on like strike 2, so I guess you get a freebie.
So wait, I don't even know what strike 1 was. I ain't do nothing.
Calling him late.
Oh, I missed that. He called me late.
Damn it!
That's strike three.
Oh, my fault.
Okay, I don't take nothing back. Nah.
Yeah, they
No,
were
it's
clowning
not
us.
true.
They were clowning us before you got on.
No, we did not say a word before y'all hopped on.
I didn't. I just said we knew y'all.
I got a
was
link
gonna
at
be
4:00.
It was slight shade.
I was looking at my email like, really? Hello?
I
Hello?
didn't say a thing though.
I mean, in
Well,
my defense,
It's all love.
The strikes are
in my
back.
in my defense, I was literally trying to find said email. But no, we not gonna go. We just gonna go straight into it. Y'all let everybody know how they can find y'all on social media if y'all want to be found. If y'all got anything events coming up that y'all want to promote, go ahead and let's do that now, and then we'll get up out of here. So let's start with the sickly one.
You know what? So, if y'all want some insurance, I'm licensed in your state more than likely. I want y'all to know y'all need to have insurance, house insurance, car insurance, life insurance. Don't get me started talking about the GoFundMe's because I will. You insure
Oh,
your
no.
phone, but you won't insure your life. I'm just saying.
They don't insure their phones either.
Okay, so y'all just dropping money because you can. Put some money on yourself. Don't have your family out here passing the hat around and out here like, oh, we can't stay in the house no more. Like, don't do that. On Facebook, it is the J McDonald Agency. On Instagram and Twitter and everything else, it's at Miss Jasmine. And then you can call the office 815-788-1800. Press 2 for me. Press 1 if you want to talk to anybody on the staff, but we'll help you out. And then there's some other stuff as far as like, we do some property management in Illinois. So if you're local to Illinois, we can help you out with some other things as far as real estate is concerned and mortgages and stuff like that.
Royce, go.
I don't have a business, nothing like that. But if you could follow my wife's business, she is a pet groomer, and we have just started our own business here in Rio Negro, Colombia. So follow Coney Cuts on Instagram, and then also just support my professional football team out here too, Bejo Broncos, out in Bejo, Colombia. So you just support people I know. Just trying to get our names out there and just do some things. So. Appreciate that. Appreciate you having me on, Big Hurt.
No problem. Now wait, you said now when you say your professional football, like you own them?
No. Like I play on the team. Like I'm playing and coaching the team. Not my team. No.
When you say football, you mean soccer?
No, American football. So it's
okay.
it's American football out in Colombia, and I just found this league, and I'm actually hurt right now. I tore a calf muscle, but I'll be back in like a month. But so this is something I was actually gonna ask her. Can I get your contact info, Miss Stacy? Because I want to speak with your husband about how I can help, how things I can do to help improve my team. Because I want us to be, so I want us to be the best. So us black folk, we got to stick together. So I want
absolutely.
But if you can just follow, if you get a chance, again follow my wife's business. Coney Cuts, and that's it's KONY KUTZ. I came up with the name, so if she ever try to leave me, I'm getting half of that. and also, man, Bejo, BELLO. The two L's make a Y sign, make a Y sound. So Bejo Broncos. Just follow us on Instagram and just support the teams, man.
Spell the team name again one more time.
Yeah, BELLO Broncos, and because the two L's in Spanish makes a Y sound. So BELLO Broncos. Yeah, so just give us a follow. Just keep up, see how we doing out there.
Okay. Stace, what you got?
So you can follow me on Facebook at BStace. That's BESTACE. You can follow me on Instagram at face2Stace. May 1st, my new website will be coming out, StacyBEbrand.com. And on that website, I will be providing notary services. I am rebranding my book that came out last year, Bare Thoughts. So it'll be a deluxe edition. It'll have new content in it. You'll be able to purchase it in an ebook and physical copy on Amazon. And yeah, just support your girl.
Man, I just want to, personally say thank y'all all so much for coming on. Like, and so y'all know that when I do Herc's World, it's always from a place to uplift the culture or get people to come on and talk about things that affect our culture. Um, whether it be an ally of the culture, whether it be black people themselves, whatever it is, Hercule is always here to uplift and be a safe space for you to come on and talk about the different things that affect our culture. So when I saw that Royce and Stacy was like, "Hey, I want to be on a show to talk about, to talk about this particular topic,"
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I gotta figure it out. I gotta make it work just because it's gonna be a good, genuine conversation. It's gonna come from a good. It's gonna come from a good space. It's not gonna be no BS. And then I know I called Jasmine at the last second, but like I've always said in the past, from day one, Jasmine has been Herc's World um, to the top. Whether it be sponsoring stuff, giving different advice. Hey, talk about this. Don't say this. Ask this way. It's whatever. So you coming on, the three of y'all coming on, and just kicking it with me, is always grateful for me. And it don't be my fault that y'all be on here for like 2 hours.
I had fun.
Because
It just flew by.
I did too.
it's fun,
Yeah.
and I say that because like one, it's fun because y'all are very opinionated. Y'all don't hold shit back, and y'all just hey, this is what it is, and this how I feel about it, and it's coming from a genuine spot. So I just want to thank y'all for coming rocking with me. This is episode 46, which means we are 4 episodes away from 50. If I use my remedial math skills, we should be dropping episode 50. Where the hell is my calendar? Okay, there it is. If I use my remedial math skills, we should be dropping episode 50. 1, 2, 3, 4. We should be dropping episode 50 the day before the 1 year anniversary of Herc's World. So that is coming. Herc's World does turn 1 in about 4 weeks. I also turned 36 in 4 weeks. If you call me old, fuck you and your mama. I'm not old, I'm seasoned. But no. We're inching close to the 1 year anniversary. We are also inching close to the 50th episode of Herc's World. Thank y'all so much for the continued support. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for the comments, the different things that y'all want us to talk about. I know I didn't get to everything, so I can always come back and talk about those things that y'all wanted to talk about. Shout out to Kendrick and T Dog for the suggestions. We're gonna get to those. But as always, if you don't work, you don't eat. You gotta crawl for you can walk for you can run, and man, run before you can fly. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel at Herc's World. Follow us on Facebook at Herc's World. Follow us on Instagram at Herc's World 24. Until the next time you hear my voice, man, y'all stay safe. Y'all take care of each other. I'm sorry. It's Herc's World _24 is the Instagram. Stay safe, stay blessed, and by all means, if you are a young lady of any substance, and this comes on, shake your ass. We out.